Hello, everybody, and welcome. We are about to get started with some League of Legends. Thank you so much for joining us. I am very happy to be getting into things, and I know you are as well, and we'll delay you no further. My name is Caleb, and I'm joined by my fantastic co-host. I'd like to introduce yourself to folks out there. I'm getting too hype already. I'm already a little overexcited.
My name is Alex. I'm here co-hosting this wonderful League of Legends tournament that we have today. Really exciting. We have some great competitors. We have Otaku's Hideout on... Actually, I don't know which side.
We'll find out which side very, very soon, but don't you worry about it.
All right. What are you hoping to see today?
I mean, as per the usual, I'm hoping to vicariously get justification for my own struggles as a League player. I want to see somebody out there face a champion I'm bad against and also do poorly.
Okay.
And then I can be like, see, it's not just me. Everyone who criticized me for playing poorly was wrong. That's what I'm hoping for, honestly. But I mean, we have a lot to get into, a lot to talk about in regards to these teams, a lot to see, because this is, again, some very, very high tier, very high caliber gameplay that we're about to be getting into. A lot to take in for both casual players, people that are super hyped and super into it, and people like me that want to be the latter but are unfortunately the former.
Yeah, and we have like a really great prize pool today. First place will be taking home $350, and second place will take $150. So who's going to take home those big prize pools? I'm really excited to see that.
There's good money for everybody involved, but of course, no matter who you are, no matter how much money is on the line, even if you do not manage to claim that #1 spot, you're going to be gunning for victory at all times. This is going to be a wild one, folks. I can guarantee it. I can feel the energy in the room, and as we dive into things, I'm very excited to see what kinds of spreads we're going to get. I know there's been a lot of talk about how the tiers are evolving currently, how things are switching up. There's been a lot of some of the champions that are a little bit like obvious little things is, you know, Seraphine is ridiculous. Most of the newer champions were ridiculous, just stock, just base. But a lot of the older champions as well, especially with some reworks in the rumor space, one could say. I'm really excited to see what kinds of setup we can get out of that.
Yeah, so the newest champion that came out recently is Gwen. And I do believe we have like a Gwen player on one of the teams, so I'm excited to... Hopefully they'll bring that out today. That'd be really fun to watch.
That certainly would be. I'm very excited to see what we get. Are there any other champs in particular you know that we're more likely to see than others, or anything that you're hoping for at the very least?
I am always hoping for Irelia. She's my favorite champion.
Very, very, very. I mean, hey, fingers crossed. You never know. We have some information on our players here, so we have a little bit of a sense for how things are going to go, what we can expect out of these folks. It is, after all, going to be quite the setup. We have quite the lineup of players, as per the usual. But I honestly got to say, you can see that some of the picks are going through already. We're going to be getting news on what we can look forward to sometime here very soon. But I can already see the calculatory phase of the draft pick is underway.
Do you have any champions you want to see?
I am definitely going to say it's a long shot as per usual, but I'm going to put it out there that I would love to see my main Kha'Zix come through.
Oh, Kha'Zix is
if it could happen. Hey, there we go. Great minds think alike.
Actually, I was talking to one of the junglers on one of the teams, and they were saying they like Kha'Zix, so...
Fingers crossed, fingers crossed.
We might see it.
This could be a lesson for me. I'm very excited to see if that'll be the case. But we'll find out in mere moments. Like I mentioned, we have a little bit of information just on what we can expect, what the players are going to come through with, because we know what our lane is going to be, what they're going to look like. I'm not exactly sure. I'm seeing some things. I'm seeing something in the work that are making me a little bit excited. I do believe we are getting into the later phases of the pick. Looks like we'll be finished up very, very soon, and we'll get confirmation on what our lineup is going to look like, and then we can really get into the nitty-gritty of trying to theory craft what they're going to be going for here. And ban phase will be coming to us in a second as well, so we can see what that is going to look like. Off top, are there any? What are some of the picks right off the bat that you would go for ban?
Yone.
Fair. That doesn't really need a lot of justification in my opinion. We're just going through. I've been playing on a lot of teams recently. I'm in a space where honestly, no matter what happens, I'm gonna have a bad time most likely if I run into somebody in ranked. So I'm just like, I don't know, man, whatever you want. But I'm seeing a lot of people go with Seraphine. I'm seeing a lot of people go with Darius right now.
Oh, okay.
Darius is. I mean, I'm not a Darius player. I played him for 5 minutes and I said, this seems unfair. I went back to playing Kha'Zix.
I think what's been favored recently is like the Turbo Chem Tank item.
Ooh, yeah.
So any like fast, really beefy guys usually get that. I would guess Volibear, but I'm not sure.
Very, very fair. I know I caught on to the high tier strat of I forget what it's called, the sunflower, the sun flare. It's on the tip of my tongue, the name of the item that was AoE damage based on how many hits you had taken in recently. It was really, really busted on Mumu and basically tank champions, like in general. I caught on to that literally like right after it after it was edited. And I was like, dang it, I'm always a day late.
I think we might see some Rel. Have you seen the champion?
Oh yeah.
He's the newer champion.
I've seen a bit. I don't understand quite yet, if that makes sense. I'm not to the point where it's like I've gotten the download entirely through. I haven't seen a lot of them actually in play, honestly.
Yeah, there's far and few between, but when I do see a role player, they're usually like really good.
All right, well, we'll get to see whether or not we have any of our suspects going through, because we do have the pick and ban phase coming up, meaning we'll get the opportunity to take a look out and get a chance what we're doing. Again, we are looking, folks, we have Otaku Hideout here going up against Henny for Penny. We'll get you which side is going to be which in a minute. We see Inspire. Okay, so we do know Henny for Penny is going to be on our left side. That is Inspire. Ghostly 702, Evil 1, Cleanse, and Visual. And then Otaku Hideout is going to be favored by Danny, Certified New, Hot Dream, and Verfortiso. I had to double check just in case.
There's a Seraphine band.
There we go. Yeah, not surprised at all. There goes Seraphine.
Do not want to see that.
Oh, there goes Jax. Another extremely valid play to make.
I hate Jax.
I mean,
that guy. They seem to be banning out the support on the Otaku Hideout side.
Yeah,
they do not want to see support.
There's Lulu. It's going to be a very interesting matchup. So what does that tell us about what their gameplay strategy is going to be coming in here? That they're very, very concerned about support champs potentially really shutting them down here.
Well, I had the pleasure of talking a bit to Otaku Hideout before the tournament. I know their support player, Verfortizo, loves to go like all in. He loves Rel, Thresh, like Blitzcrank, those kinds of engaged champions. So probably Seraphine and Lulu, he wanted to ban those out too, so that he can do that.
All right, very fair. So we are also looking at, now in contrast, we can see.
Oh, there's the Rel.
Yeah, there's Rel. There we go. This champion is so clean looking. Now, gameplay aside, I know they're busted, but also.
They do look cool. They look cool doing it.
Listen, what's the point of winning in League if you don't look good doing it? That's the entire reason people are bankrupting themselves with skins.
That's the only reason why we play League, right?
Exactly. This is why it's proven when you have a good skin or a good-looking champion, you play better. This is science.
So I like the picks so far. We have Rel and Kaisa so far versus against Hecarim and Alistar. So this already tells me right off the bat we're probably going to get some high-octane gameplay going. Just a bunch of engages on both sides. Although there is the team up. Just being hovered.
Yeah, just being hovered. Just considering it's a threat, really.
Yeah.
If you think about it,
They're like, yeah,
it's an
do
insult.
Do it. Lock in the team up.
It's dangerous. So we see the next couple of picks coming through. Looking at Henny for Penny's side of things, Cleanse and Visual still on deck to pick. That means we are still looking for our ADC and our support. Sylas, is that gonna be? Ooh, all right.
I like the Sylas pick because Alistar ulti on Sylas is like S+ as well as Hecarim. So even with only 3 champions showing, Sylas being picked here, I actually really like that pick.
I mean, I'm seeing a lot of discourse related to Sylas. I'm seeing a lot of people that are ranging from he's all right to he's actually busted. Where do you land on that?
It definitely depends, because he's like one of those picks where you're like, you see the enemy team, you're like, ooh, this is a good Sylas game. And right when I see the Alistar, every time I'm like, oh, I'm playing Sylas this game.
All right. So it's very, very counterplay based, which makes a lot of sense for him. But I mean, with that in mind, it feels very much like the kind of a champ that in lower elo is very okay, and that might be the explanation for it. Versus if you're in ranked and you really know what you're doing and you really have an understanding of what your enemy team is rocking with, it can be a very pivotal kind of a pick.
Yeah, Sylas, like you said, that's a great way to put it. He's a very good counter pick champion. His early laning, I would say, is a little bit on the weaker side, so you don't really get to offer that much support to your junglers early on. But later on in the mid to late game, you can come in clutch with several different ults. Like the Hecarim ult will be really good here, and the Alistar ult will be really great. So I'm really excited to see that.
Have our full roster of Fans, by the way, over on the side of Otaku Hideout, look at that. Again, sweeps through potential supports. We see a lot of things being taken off the table. And now on the other end as well, I can see Wukong's been added and Twisted Fortune.
Wukong?
Is that not? No, that is Victor. My mistake. It's the picture is very small from this distance.
Oh, yeah,
I just managed to catch it.
You gotta get one of these. You gotta get some glasses.
Oh, yeah. I gotta get the stereoscopic lens.
Yeah.
If I can just zoom in.
So far, I'm liking the team on Otaku Hideout's place. I love Rel, Kaisa. The Silas, like I said, is really good with the Hecarim and the Alistar. And I think Rek'Sai is a really great jungler. Because like I was saying, Silas isn't like too great of a supportive champion from the mid lane. He can be if he sacrifices a lot for it. Right. But that's why the Rek'Sai pick is pretty nice here. Because Rek'Sai doesn't need that much help clearing. She's a great duelist early. She's just a really good early game jungler. And so I'm excited to see like how she's going to move around the map. But on the other side with Henny for a Penny, they have just a very strong late game comp. We're rounding it out with the Vladimir. We have the Jinx. We have Mundo, Alistar, Hecarim. They have really great engage and really great scaling damage as well. So they can be really scary if they're not shut down early.
Very, very interesting. This looks like the kind of team that would just give me a headache looking at it.
Yeah.
if I'm being just looking at what Henny for Penny is doing here, I just like, we'll see this figure.
Oh man, someone dodge.
Yeah, because and again, this is a team where depending on what levels I'm looking at, depending on what the kind of elo I'm looking at, lower elo, that's fine. That's just random people. But in this context specifically, that's unfair and I don't like it. Oh my God! But in contrast, we were looking at Otaku Hideout's lineup as well, and that is looking pretty dang lethal too. This is with the team that has the Rel on it. This is going to be our team with the Silas. This looks like it's going to be pretty dangerous.
Yeah, I'd like to point out that Otaku Hideout opted for the set mid, which I was talking to them a little bit about that before, and they're saying that this is a pick that they swear by. This is their like pocket, like trump card pick. It's a set mid. I seldom see set mid, so I'm really excited to see how it's going to work here.
Really, same here. This is a very interesting. If you still getting hyped up a little bit, it's more outboost in the jungle. Just waiting on.
Super hyped up with those what I don't exercise.
Yeah,
what is that called again?
Those are sit-ups. Well, technically his feet are off the ground, so those would be double crunches. So. One way or another, just busting out a few. Really want to make sure that core is ready to work. Use the core and everything.
Exactly.
Including.
He needs that.
Including get yourself an early jungle start. Minions are spawned. Kicking things off soon. This is the calm before the storm, everybody. It's time to keep a close eye out and feel those energy levels.
Yeah, let's talk a bit about the lane matchups here. So in the top lane, we have Inspire on Dr. Mundo versus Ferret 101 on Silas. I'm personally a Silas player, and I actually like this matchup. Dr. Mundo can't do too much to really poke you down, especially if you hide behind the minions. And Silas, I feel like it's a fairly neutral lane, so not much is going to happen in terms of kill potential until gank opportunities. And also, Mundo ulti on Silas is not bad at all, so I don't actually mind that lane for the Silas. But I think for the most part, it'll be kind of neutral. Then we have the Hecarim versus the Rek'Sai, both strong clears. I'd say Rek'Sai is a bit stronger late or early game, but like I said, Hecarim can kind of scale up and ramp up very quickly. And then I have no idea, honestly, when it comes to set mid, but we do have set mid against the Vladimir. Vladimir, I'm assuming, is just going to opt to just poke him out the whole time. But I think once Vlad ever uses his pool in front of Set, Set's just gonna go. He's just gonna go and he's gonna get you.
Waiting for his moment to strike. Absolutely. So that might be the thing to watch for in mid then, and the thing to take note of, especially considering you're just talking about Set mid being a relatively rare pick. Is going to be waiting to see whether or not that sort of balance of power is going to tip in anyone's particular favor. That sort of game of Quincy's that one has to play. Which you see on a couple of different champions, where one is definitely outranging the other at mid, which is such already an inherently range-based kind of a lane.
Right. And then in the bot lane, we have Cleanse on Jinx ADC and Visual on the Alistar support versus Hot Dream on Kaisa and Rel for Fortizo. This is a very interesting 2v2 lane. Jinx herself is very, very vulnerable. But with the Alistar pick, it's really easy to kind of just like knock that rel away.
Right.
So both teams here are very like high caliber. There's going to be a lot of engaging. I think the bot lane will find probably the most action down there.
Yeah, and I also want to point out that this is what I was talking about, where I hear a lot of talking recently about the old versus new champions. People talk about newer champions having an inherently better kit, and it just being a lot easier for them to be very high tier versus earlier champions. They go from busted to useless very quickly between nerfs and patches because either their numbers are good and they're insane, or their numbers are bad and they just don't have the tools to keep up. And we kind of have an old versus new lineup here between our two teams, where we see a lot of older champions like Mundo, Jinx, Alistar, my God, coming through. But again, Alistar is great right now. It's phenomenal right now.
Yeah, he is normally like a bread and butter champion, I feel like. There's been few patches where he's been like completely useless. Or should I say, utterly useless.
Now, there's a lot of folks who would hang you out to dry for that show, but you know what? I'm with you. Because usually what you just did, that's me throwing something out there, and I get...
Oh, here we go. We got some engagement going on. Rel goes in on the Jinx. I guess they're trading over here. Alistar gets a great knock of the Kai'Sa into Jinx's traps, and they're chasing her down. Can they finish her off? First blood goes to Visual on the Alistar, but Rek'Sai's come to the rescue, and they're able to take the 1-for-1 there. That was really well played by Visual on that Alistar. I really love seeing that knock into the Jinx traps. What a great combo.
Very good so far. Seeing that pressure pay off well for him, but
it was a 1-for-1 in the bottom lane, but the kill actually went off to the Rek'Sai, so I would say it's still somewhat in Red Side's favor. But 1-for-1 still early.
Very early on, and at the very least, we know now that they're playing well on either side enough that there is going to be that balance back and forth. Occasionally, you'll see somebody just push super hard and get the early lead, and it's just like, I don't know what to do now. You get thrown off your game. Not happening here, at least for the time being. But mid, this is the thing that we were talking about, so let's keep a close eye out as we see.
There's a
an engage.
going right away. We're just going for the trade. Hecarim is hovering.
Waiting, lurking, potentially about to do something terrible. We're seeing the lane push. It's ever so slightly, bit by bit ahead. Right now that Vladimir is in all right range. Meanwhile, in top, here is Mundo and the Sylas.
Sylas is down a bit of CS, but I would say that's a bit expected. Sylas is not the greatest CSer, or at least my Sylas definitely isn't.
Your Sylas is better than mine, considering I don't have one, so you'll be the authority on that. You'll be the authority on that subject matter. The day one Sylas for me isn't going to dispute your claims, but I mean that's pretty consistent with everything as well so far. Meanwhile, back at bot, once again seeing this I really feel like is, out of all the matches we have here, like the most quintessential like old versus new going on is really bottom lane. There's
that
like some
true.
classic League of Legends happening in bottom right now. This is very, very cutting edge.
Alistar, with his 1 kill, decides to get the boots. Jinx comes back with 2 long swords. Ooh, they take the dragon for the red side. Good start, like I said. Rek'Sai is really good, easy clear, really good early jungler. Puts on good pressure and good objective support.
So far, so good. Everything holding. We're still waiting for that breaking point that we know happens in every game of League where things really start pop off, but it seems like nobody's going for anything super crazy at the start. We're not seeing any more of the wilder like early game plays, like nobody's trying to like immediately go off on a lane push or anything like that. We saw Dragon get picked up at about the usual time. So far, it seems like everything.
And going in.
We're off.
And Hecarim is down for the counter gank. With TP coming in on the red side, that is going to be the side. Oh my gosh, Kai'Sa. Oh, very close.
That was unsuccessful. I watched the breaking point in that where Hecarim lost all his health. I was like, that's it. Because that was who you needed to push that for you. And so that is going to be a very successful defend there. Otaku hideout. That's a bit of a leg up here.
Yeah, this is why Rek'Sai is such a good pick for like those really skilled junglers that are really good at pressuring. She's got very good counter gank potential with her tunnels and whatnot. You know, they just come in and zoom in.
Very, very effective proven there.
Meanwhile, in the mid lane, pretty even, doing the same thing they've been doing. Oh, but we got the Alistar coming in for the gank. Got the stun off on the set.
Help is on the way.
Help is on the way, indeed.
Absolutely not going to be able to take that in once again.
Down.
Otaku Hideout managing to get the successful exchange off of that. Now hunting one last player down. Is Evil One going to be able to escape with Vladimir? It looks like he is.
This Rek'Sai is performing just so efficiently. Got great clear, 20 CS ahead of the Hecarim with 500% kill participation.
So
That's
far,
exactly what I expect out of really good Rek'Sai. Very fun to watch.
I am intimidated, absolutely. Again, Rek'Sai is a champ that I see, and it is like a very steep drop off between incredible and not good, but I think that might just be more indicative of the elo I'm playing in than anything else. But the Rek'Sais that I watch all seem amazing, but including this one.
Rek'Sai is one of those champions where it's just like, if you're really good at the game, that's one of the champions that you play. Otherwise, it's really hard to make work properly.
Or if you, want to seem like you're good at the game, so you pick a more challenging champion. Me. Anywho, before we go back to the game, people are actually good. You see things holding once again steady here in bottom lane, where we are waiting for our next opportunity to push. Alistair has been very, very solid so far on the support side of things. Are we going to be able to get up and get the big damage we need, penny for penny, be able to successfully push back down bottom lane, or are we just waiting for the next gank?
We have 1k gold, approximately about 1k gold lead for Otaku Hideout. I think most of that is sitting on the Rek'Sai.
Just waiting for a chance to really stock up.
Like I said, the top lane, somewhat neutral. Mundo having an easier time CSing, that's something I would have expected.
Risky engage there. Takes a chunk off the Mundo, but it's not going to mind.
He does get his ulti out.
Several seconds go by. He's back up to half health. That's Mundo for you. Silas is the pressure.
Yeah, this Mundo is pretty inspiring, I guess you could say.
Yeah, I mean, who doesn't love a good Dr. Mundo? The fact that Mundo is so often played and is often played with the same
I hate
skin.
Dr. Mundo, so...
Really?
Yeah.
So we have the controversial opinion.
Yeah.
I mean, I hate fighting him, but but I mean, look at him.
Okay, that's true.
How can you hate that face?
You can't hate Mundo. He goes where he pleases.
I can't. Mundo goes where he pleases. You can't kill him. There's nothing I can do to stop him. I've never once killed the Mundo, but...
Never? Not once. Not a single time.
I legit cannot think of... I mean, I've never alone killed a Mundo. I've seen a Mundo die. I wouldn't claim credit for it.
Fables. They're just myth.
Exactly.
It's an urban legend.
I hear tell that once upon a midnight dreary, Mundo actually managed to go down in a team fight. Instead of just spending the entire time standing there, killing everyone, and then waddling away triumphantly.
So we did get the rift over to Hecarim on Henny for a Penny side. I wonder where they were planning to use that. Maybe to pressure the top side so that they can go rotate bot and make a play bot, especially with Dragon coming up pretty soon. Oh, Alistar looks for an in here on the Kaisa, who's alone. Thought it was alone. But of course, this Rek'Sai is just everywhere.
Constantly, and making very, very efficient use of the time. See that pressure going through. Doesn't look like anybody's going to die off of this one here. Holding steady in bot. Penny for Penny doesn't lose anything there, despite the push.
Ooh, Silas is going in. Are we going to see a kill in the top lane?
Looks like
does
we
have
might.
The Mundo ulti.
It looks like we might.
Meanwhile, the Dragon's being taken. Oh, if only he had an Ignite available.
Not quite there. It was down to the wire. It looks like everybody's gonna survive. The Inferno taking effect across the map.
Still somewhat even. I mean, I know there's like a bit of a CS gap in the top side. I do think Silas will be able to make up for it in the mid game. I believe in him.
If there's anything, Silas absolutely is the kind of the champion that, again, like we talked about being a very excellent counter pick, Silas is going to be really, really get to shine once we get to the team fight phase of things. And we are really duking it out on a regular basis. But he has that sort of free move ability. But that's going to be a problem because, again, he has such a CS advantage here with Mundo on top that you might walk into that with Mundo at the very least very, very tanky, very, very beefy, versus him not having the burst to really get what he needs done.
So I really want to point out here that with the massive lead that the Rek'Sai has, the Rek'Sai already has that Prowler's Claw. So that will be a really sad jinx.
This is gonna be
hopefully
rough.
the Alistar will be able to do the best that he can to peel that little bug off her.
I mean, if there's anything, as much as that is a very dangerous situation, I do believe in the Alistar.
Oh yeah, we've seen some good stuff already.
Not that I don't believe in Cleanse here, but Cleanse has the very difficult spot, and I really feel like how hard it's going to be for Cleanse is very vital vision.
The set's going in with the Rek'Sai around. Hecarim's coming in for the counter gank. We got Shelly over there rooting for them.
Eaten up. Absolutely, that Hecarim is not leaving. Absolutely, that's going to be another full meal for Otaku Hideout.
Oh, wait, what just happened bottom lane?
Something bad. There are things going down in bottom lane.
The Rel seems to have gone down, and a kill over to Jinx. We're going to need some funneled kills into the Jinx and the Vlad if Henny for Penny wants to make their way back into the game at this point.
It's starting to slide very heavily into Otaku Hideout's favor. We are just seeing...
Like I said, Henny for Penny, they do have a very late game comp, so if they can stick it out until the Vlad and the Jinx, are able to hyperscale, we can really see a game on our hands.
Right about now, I feel like this is going to be a make or break spot for Henny for Penny. They're not doing poorly by any means, but we are really starting to see Otaku Hideout build themselves up as a lethal force. We're starting to see them take that early game control, and how it really comes down to the execution on that late game pick. They have all the cards in their hands that they need, Henny for Penny does, but I mean, they are not dealing with somebody that's going to be easy to pull this off against.
It is just so devastating having to deal with a very efficient Rek'Sai. Because this guy is everywhere. He's got 100% KP still. Got 2 dragons already. 2? When did we... How was there 2 dragons? There's 2 dragons. I didn't even notice. This guy's too efficient.
Believe it or not, it's true. we didn't literally see them go down, but off in the corner, you saw that coalescing happen in just the right portion of the map. So, again, he's been eating good all game, and is still hungry. This Rek'Sai might be MVP, but not to discredit the rest of the team here, because, again, we've been seeing some pretty consistently solid plays all around from Otaku Hideout.
Definitely. Very good setup. The set setting up some really good plays in the mid lane that we had just seen. Silas kind of sitting pretty. He'll have his time. Like I said, mid-game, I'm waiting for it.
Really set the standard so far.
Yeah, setting the standard. Yeah, exactly.
As we take a closer look again in bottom lane. A little bit of a push back towards tower.
Yeah. In the bot lane, we do actually see a lead for Henny for Penny. We're wondering if that's going to be enough to stop this Rek'Sai and Set and becoming Silas and Kaisa that will inevitably come online very soon.
Yeah, we are waiting for, again, that tipping point. This is another sort of calm before the storm. It's still rumbling out, but really feels like we are about to hit that pop-out point. Really, it feels like bottom lane, as much as, again, Cleanse is very, very capable. We see already that Cleanse has been able to do some damage here, but it really feels like the thing holding back Otaku Hideout in bot is Alistar. I don't think they have a solid means of doing enough to like efficiently kill Jinx and also not get killed by Alistar immediately.
That's so true. Oh, will there be a fight?
It looks like there
does
might
have the
be.
Mundo ulti available. Silas has the Mundo ulti available.
Silas is feeling frisky, but not quite enough to go all the way through. Taking a quick glance over, we can see that thing's happening in the jungle. Hecarim, no.
Is this
Hecarim,
the
you
third dragon?
fool.
Oh, Hecarim ulting away to safety. That is a scary Rek'Sai ult away from that too.
To use what he's got there to get free. And here we go, all out pro.
It's a massive ulti.
This isn't everybody. That is
breaker.
All of it. Henny for Penny eating them alive. Does not go without taking casualties, but that is Henny for Penny taking it, and they will take Dragon as a result.
So there it is.
There it is. I believe that might be the beginning.
The counter engage, disengage by Henny for Penny.
Very
working out in their favor.
There's not a lot of good exchange that starts with Hecarim ulting away, but I mean, hey, it can happen.
That is true. Wow, honestly, that was a crazy turn of events. The set had a huge ulti, huge facebreaker, only to be met with Vlad just free DPSing in the back, cleaning up the rest of them, just stacking up those, the thing that Vlad does. Just doing that.
Just stacking up those blood bucks, just getting well built up. Got some money in the bank. Always bet on red.
Vlad is definitely going to be an issue for this team. They don't have that great of an answer for the Vlad. Since Kaisa is kind of short range, it'll be harder for her to put DPS down on the Vlad. And if she tries to ult in a more assassin-y way, she's not going to win that 1v1 unless the Vlad's like already low. So this could be danger for Otaku Hideout despite their great performance in the early game.
Between trying to get in with Alistar and Mundo, even trying to get to the Vlad, I feel like it's going to be a pain in the neck.
Oh, definitely. And then if it's not the Vlad, it's going to be the Jinx very soon. Morel looks for it in on the Jinx, gets the stun, and Kaisa slays the Jinx. Wow, that's so fast.
Rough, absolutely. I mean, that's what it is. We're
past and they're going for the dive.
Oh, no. Oh, Alistar, what happened?
Down.
Oh, no. So that tower is absolutely out of here.
So Otaku Hideout was like, all right, that dragon fight wasn't what we wanted. Just shake it off. Let's go back to form now.
keep your composure, because again, one loss of resource, one could say, is far from the end of the game. Right now, it absolutely still looks like a very big bag. The Rift Herald is going to obliterate the next tower. This top lane push is going phenomenally well. We can see
good Rift Herald.
Some pickup is happening out with Henny for Penny. They are going to be coming back to base and coming through to meet him.
Oh, Rek'Sai is just going in. This guy is just feeling it.
That is a... listen, I'm not brave enough to go in against an outside like that, so cross to the Rek'Sai.
Set.
My set. My team. Knocked into enemy territory.
A little bit too confident there, but I like to see it. I love to see it.
Yeah. Go big or go home. Sometimes you do, in fact, have to. But the for Penny will defend. That is top lane cleared, though, for Otaku Hideout, so it was far from an interaction that had no benefit to it.
Yeah, but with Baron available, though,
ooh, that
this is
might be. So about that late game situation for Penny.
They are getting what they want here. We got some kills over on Mundo and Vladimir.
He's very, very tough now. That Baron buff on their side.
We also have the Medjais on the Vladimir. So it's going to be tough for Otaku Hideout to come back from this. Let's see how they do it.
You'll have Ferret on cooldown as well. Not much longer, a couple of seconds, but certainly long enough that we might see the beginnings of an engage very, very soon.
I think one way for them to get back into this is for Silas to come up big with a good ulti. I know I keep going back to the Silas, but because I've had so many games where my beginning Silas games were just like complete feeding. But then you just get one really good ulti and then you stack up a Medjais and just like boom. Game's done.
it just happens. Everything falls very much so. And the Silas is very much like it's like playing chess against somebody where it looks like to the uninitiated or to the vastly outmatched, it looks like nothing's happening. And then all of a sudden, checkmate. What do you mean checkmate? Huh? What happened? Nothing. What do you mean?
Some Queen's Gambit action.
See a bit of...
So what is Henny for Penny going to do with their Baron? Hopefully get some good pushers in, but doesn't really look like too many lanes are properly set up for taking any other objectives.
That means it is
They're looking for the Mundo here.
You can't get Mundo.
This might be it.
Well,
we might actually see a Mundo die.
3 of you, it might be. Oh my goodness!
He's down.
The prophecy is fulfilled.
The Mundo's down. Hyperm is ulting in.
Mundo down.
Vladimir picking up some more kills. Jinx is coming into the fight. Does not look well for Otaku Hideout.
God, I would have
guessed. We do get the shutdown over to Rek'Sai. We're having a bit of split focus here. Ooh. Jinx is still up and can still clean up this fight pretty easily. Silas is lurking around to see if he can get it in on the Jinx. But it's too late. She's too excited and she's dooming around and just cleaning up.
My goodness, that really felt like it was a little bit back and forth, touch and go there for a minute. I wasn't sure who was going to come out of that.
And that is exactly what I expected from these two high caliber teams. They're very good players on both ends.
It is so easy to see a team fight start up and then just sort of take a Jesus take the wheel approach. You don't know what's going down. You're just going to click whoever's closest, whoever's lowest, and just hope.
I'm trying my best.
But in this area, you can see if you take a look back, look at the replay if you need to, but this is absolutely the kind of environment in which you can really see every split second by split second play being very, very well calculated in areas like that. And it allowed Otaku Hideout to persevere so well.
Yeah, so far this game has been unraveling in very unpredictable ways. You know, in the beginning, we saw Otaku Hideout with a very massive lead. They played their early game pretty well, and now we're seeing Henny for Penny play their picks exactly how they needed to, biding their time, letting the Jinx and the Vladimir clean up and scale up. And now they're going to be really scary to deal with in the team fights, regardless of Otaku Hideout having a rel, having a set available for engage. Between the Jinx and the Vlad on Henny for Penny, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough for them to figure out a good in.
To say the least, we are seeing a little bit of the shine taken off of that bottom tower. It looks like they should be able to pick that up without too much issue. That goes down. Mundo lurking nearby. We can see pings are summoning us further up. What are we about to see, you think? It looks like we are going to be coalescing into, I can sense another team fight on the way. Is that going to be happening in bottom, or are we going to pull that up closer to mid lane?
I think everyone's kind of chilling out, scouting out the area for a bit until an objective comes up. Oh, looks like they're looking for Mundo again. Will we see another death on the Mundo?
So stop bullying Mundo. He's a good boy.
Oh, Jinx gets caught out. But the Alistar coming in clutch.
Again,
we do have the Alistar ulti on the Sylas, and he's able to jump right onto the Jinx. Fortunately, it was not enough. Oh, and Jinx kiting his life out. Tried his best, and in the end,
might cost Alistar his life. It will, but overall, Henny for Penny still looking pretty good, unless Otaku Hideout here.
We got the Vlad still up,
and
still just shredding through them.
A noble sacrifice, and one that pays off big for Henny for Penny. Now looking very, very solid in their kill lead and their gold lead.
Like I said, if it's not the Vlad, it's the Jinx. If it's not the Jinx, it's the Vlad. And not only do they have those two menaces in the back, just completely shredding, we have the Alistar for peel, we have the Mundo to be this big beefy tank, we have a Hecarim for apparently engage or the disengage. And they're playing this really well even through the shaky early game.
Again, this is exactly what we saw. The reckoning is at hand. We can confirm now that Henny for Penny has realized this very, very strong late game situation. So now the question becomes, is there enough time for the counter situation for Otaku Hideout? They certainly are doing poorly again, but right now it really feels like they can get one off. They can take down the Mundo. They can maybe take down the Jinx. They can maybe. I don't feel like they're going to take down the Vlad. The Vlad is being a little bit too careful. But they're going to get one person down, and then they're going to get team wiped again.
Well, you know what they say. Anything can happen.
You are incredible at this, and hopefully Otaku Hideout is as good with this as you are with the wordplay, because they are going to need, again, we've seen very, very well executed plays here. They're just getting out-beefed, which I feel like once again speaks back to this old versus new mentality. They have a lot of tools. They have a lot of very, very solid strategies. They have a lot of excellent plays. Clearly, they've got the coordination.
Going for the Baron right now. Is this the Desperation Baron?
This might be the Desperation Baron. It might also be the Desperation
Hecarim
Baron into the getting eaten by Henny for Penny.
Wait, what in the world just happened? Some crazy stuff.
Do my eyes deceive me? that it looked like things were going so well for a second. For a moment there, it looked like that was going really well for Otaku Hideout. I was like, they got this. And then they just all vanished.
It was just too good of a draft on Henny for Penny's side, just really well drafted.
As if 5 voices all cried out and then suddenly were silenced. You're seeing the inhibitor go down in mid lane.
I think this might be it for Otaku Hideout.
This seems like it just might be.
Mundo just taking the 2 towers. He goes where he pleases.
Absolutely. Right now it looks like he's going to that winner circle, playing that $350. That is going to be base.
It for Otaku Hideout. Henny for Penny is going to take the game.
And with their dying breath, they try and fail to kill Mundo. A metaphor. Be it like poetry.
A metaphor. A metaphor what?
Meta for this current season, if we're being honest, because Moto once again goes through
I don't know what,
and proves tanks are still killing it. It's not the tank season, but it's definitely a tank season, if you know what I'm saying. That was great to watch in action. I mean, I really feel like you called that pretty much beat for beat from the beginning.
Oh, yeah. I mean, with the picks that Henny for Penny had, it was just a matter of time. But to be honest with you, Otaku Hideout also drafted really well. They drafted like really early game, and they did phenomenal playing their early game. The Rek'Sai, I believe that's Danny on the Rek'Sai, was just, like I said, just so efficient. And it...
I know what you mean. I know what you mean. It's wild. In case in point, we have some highlights we can show you that'll epitomize exactly what we're talking about here.
Oh, this is the first blood. Oh, we missed the part where Alistar got him into it.
It's looking very, very good as we see just how everything got started. Where again, very early on, Otaku Hideout had it. A lot of dominance, a lot of skill. They showed off everything. But once Henny for Penny really started to steamroll, once they had the sheer brute force on their side, one could say, things really turned around for them, and just really there was nothing that Otaku Hideout did. Again, we didn't see any poorly executed plays. There were no bad plans, really.
Yeah.
They just did not have the muscle for it.
The Vlad played really, really well. Just really great positioning, was always in pretty good spots and knew exactly like how close to be, and was able to pick up a lot of kills and then also stack up the Mejais. Super, super scary.
A lot of excellent work here. And so did you get what you were hoping for out of the very interesting plays we had? Because we talked about the set mid being a very interesting setup. We talked about looking forward to seeing more of Rel and things like that. Did you see anything that in these like rare instances we're seeing with these kinds of picks that really caught your attention?
I feel like everyone just played their champion exactly how they needed to. In my solo queue games, I never see that. So like seeing some really well organized play and also really strong individual skill was just very like so much fun to watch. This was a great game to watch.
Yeah, and a really great game to analyze. I feel like if you're playing any of these champions, I feel like this is a great key way to take notes. As much as it's difficult to take notes in situations like these, where literally there's nothing you can't see through that. Don't look at me in the eye and lie to me and tell me you know what happened exactly.
I do not know what happened.
But absolutely, it was wild in action. And to touch on another note, talking about solo queuing, you are braver than I because I refuse to solo queue in this game. Those years are behind mine. I have a team full of friends, and I will play with them only. Even there, you get into the flow, you get into the rhythm. Like I have a friend that mains Jinx pretty often, and so I have that sort of balance whenever I play support, whenever I go Cho'Gath bot. We have that rhythm. But we also have an interview to get to. We are going to have an opportunity to talk to Ghosty702 and get a little bit of insight into the gameplay and again how he feels like things went there. How are you doing, my man?
I'm doing good. Not too bad. Not too bad.
All right, so how do you feel about the game overall? That was a wild thing to watch in action. We were just talking about how crazy it was to keep up with even at certain points. But overall, just how do you feel about the gameplay here?
So you asked me how the game went?
Yeah.
So in all honesty, when we were all talking about drafts, we already had a concrete idea of trying to build a comp where we would focus around our ADC and having our mid laner come into the game later on. And we already knew the enemy jungler was going to be extremely aggressive, and knowing that I actually don't know any of the people that were on my team and I was a last minute sub, we really didn't practice. I just went more with a meta pick, and we just played around kind of letting them be aggressive, letting them do things, and slowly, once they took that inhib pretty much, we knew everything was going to come into us. We were going to get gold funneled into us, and we were just going to outscale them later on.
Oh yeah, how did you feel trying to handle the pressure that the Rek'Sai was putting on? Because it was there for the counter ganks, they were there for the objectives, they're just like able to farm and counter farm. How were you able to kind of keep composed through that?
So I was really used to actually really aggressive play styles, and I played for careers for a little while actually. So having someone constantly invading and taking camps, I just understood that all I really needed was to get like 2 or 3 items, and I'd be fine into the game. because I'm playing a champion that's more kind of like a tanky champion.
Right.
So it doesn't take as much gold to come and be relevant.
Right. Yeah, you guys drafted amazingly. And it seemed like you drafted and the game went exactly like how you guys pictured it in your head. You got the gold funneling well into Vlad and then into Jinx. And then, like I was saying earlier, if it's not the Vlad, it's the Jinx. If it's not the Jinx, it's the Vlad. And you guys did really good job of playing that exactly how it should have been.
So I also want to ask about, in terms of, because we were also talking about you mentioned going for the meta pick and just sort of playing it cool and your experience with that. How did you feel about, at the start, we were talking about the team picks having a lot of older champions on one end of the rift, so to speak, and a lot of newer champions on the other. How did you feel about your sort of enemies, like team composition in terms of like what you were prepared for, aside from just them being, again, like a very meta thing?
In all honesty, I wanted to play different picks, and last minute got thrown onto Hecarim. I actually wanted to play Volibear, and that was my comfort pick.
I was gonna say I feel like Volibear would have been like also good in that same way you played Hecarim.
Yeah, because we talked about doing Rumble mid and then having me play Volibear and kind of just doing like a 4-man gank bot lane. So the Hecarim pick was kind of out of nowhere, and that's the reason why I wasn't really ganking early and stuff, and I took my time just farming a lot due to the fact that I don't really play Hecarim at all.
Well, you did amazingly. You did your job exactly how you needed to. You believed in your team, you believed in yourself, and you guys won first place. Congratulations.
Big congrats, and thank you so much for that. It has been a wild thing to watch in action. And thank you all out there for joining us. This has been a great game. We're just walking away again with $350, with second place still getting a little bit of money in the pockets of $150. You have any closing words for our wonderful fans who came out here to join us watching some League?
Nothing. Stay safe out there. You know, as terrible as things have been, everyone's been doing their best to kind of keep things moving along. As you can see here in Esports Arena, they do like pretty much weekly tournaments and events, and if this is something you're interested in, come on over.
Yeah, please come through. Please support whatever game you are interested in. But here for League, at least for the time being, we are signing off. Thank you again for coming to see us, and we will see you next time. Welcome, everybody. It is time for us to get into some Smash Ultimate. I hope you are hyped for it because I know I certainly am. It's been a while since I got to enjoy some Smash content live. I know it might be the same for a lot of you, but do not worry. We have some top-tier content for you. My name is Caleb Brown. I'm joined by ASAP, a resident Smash expert and very in tune with who we have about to go up onto the stage and perform for us today. Is that right?
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me, guys. Yeah, so we're going to have what's going on as a 5v5 crew battle. And for those who don't know what that is, it's basically kind of like a King of the Hill type deal. You'll start off, each player will have 3 stocks, each for your team. You'll lose a stock. As you lose the stocks, the players will get eliminated. If you happen to eliminate your opponent, you will stay in with the amount of stocks that you have. And it's kind of just the teams pick which team player they want to have back into set rotation. But with that being said, we do have Team Foe versus Team Grandmaster, 2 of Vegas's finest. Foe actually being ranked the best player in Vegas, and Grandmaster arguably right on his coattails. A lot of people kind of like to utilize their rivalry as like the 1s and 2s of it. But that being said, we still do have some powerhouses here. We have Caius in the building. Yeah, also a PR player. We have Lycan as well. And Zyro, Theed. One thing that did get changed, I believe, to Team Grandmaster. We were going to have JoJo in attendance today, but I think he was not able to make it. So we will be having a swap with him, which I believe is Tux. An up-and-coming player, one of the younger players in the scene. Very, very good Luigi. I would have to say probably, if not one of the best Luigis out here. With Dr. Hugh, he does play that character as well. So I think those are some of our Luigi pioneers. But interested to see what's going to happen here with these teams. Pretty stacked.
Yeah, it's a lot of power, a lot of potential out there that I'm very much so looking forward to seeing. I love a good Luigi in any situation. There's always
you are the only one.
Really? But that reaction is why, and it's always great to see. Because again, a good Luigi is of everyone's existence because it's a character that ostensibly shouldn't be good. When you see a Luigi succeed, it's like a shooting star. It's beautiful. It's wonderful. More so, it's like a building being on fire. Someone suffered, but it's great to look at. But we do have a great setup ahead. We talked about potentially seeing a good Luigi on deck. Is there any other particular? I know you mentioned earlier as well. We might be seeing a Robin. That we might be seeing a couple of other players.
Yeah, so the interesting thing about this, and usually I would kind of expect what characters they're going to end up playing. But the thing is that a lot of these players do have a lot of different characters in their arsenal. Like I said, Grandmaster, he is that prevalent Palutena player, but does have a Robin. I know Lycan, he is our resident Snake in Vegas, but does play a lot of... And the man himself walking up, Freddy, a.k.a. Foe, the Nest. So when I first moved to Vegas, man, I didn't even understand how many Nesses we have in attendance. And it's insane how many people play this character, especially in the Vegas scene, because originally I'm from SoCal. So when I moved here, I did not expect so many intricate different characters. Like, I didn't expect to see Robins, a bunch of Nesses, Lucases. We have Quillin the Mega Man. I think I have like 1 Mega Man in SoCal. So it's crazy to see like all these players be able to be that diverse with their character pools, which can set it up for different things. As I said before, I think, it comes down to, it could be we can expect a main for, maybe a Nest from Foe, and all of a sudden he's feeling his Lucina today, or his Captain Falcon. I know he has a little bit of sauce with that, so interested to see if these players are going to stick with the tried and true mains, or maybe, swap it up.
Yeah, we won't have to wait much longer because we're going to be getting started in just a few more moments. It's time for us to dive into things, get into our first battle. This is going to be an interesting opportunity to see whether or not any of the predictions are going to be coming through. It looks like we have a Rob. What does that mean?
A Rob?
It looks like we have a Rob. Tux with Rob. Rob is I've never seen a Rob that feels like they're somebody's main. I've seen people win with Rob. Every time Rob comes up, people are like, huh? It's always confusing.
Yeah, this is interesting for me too. I haven't seen this Rob. Is that a me Gunner?
It's a me Gunner.
There's no way. Zyro's going to me Gunner. Okay, now Zyro has been saying that he has the sauciest me Gunner. Okay, but I'm gonna see the hero. Yeah.
There we go. That was a threat.
Yeah, I was gonna say
it was a threat. He wasn't ready.
Yeah. I spoke to him earlier. He did say that he was going to play some hero for his crew battle, but the Rob from Tux, I'm actually interested to see. I haven't seen this character him play it at all, so we're going to get it started off right here on Pokemon Stadium 2. And Rob being one of those characters that has a really good boxing game, so just to see what he's going to do. Oh, but the bounce from Zyro coming off. Okay, yeah, it's taking a little bit of damage. And Zyro, man, one of the more patient players in the scene. You won't catch him slipping up too many times, and we'll see if he can get an opening here.
And we are seeing some pretty heavy pressure there. Up air, very effective. Not quite at kill percentage here for Rob. At least I don't think so. Again, Rob's one of those characters that I see so infrequently and don't know what to expect of them so much that honestly I don't know what Rob's kill percentage is.
Yeah, man, Rob can kill you any percent he wants, man. He's built the combo of the character. But Zyro holding his own with a slight lead here. Oh, man, not going to get him with the snooze there. It would have been detrimental for Tux there. Really lost that first stock.
Tux at very dangerous percentage here, but Zyro has bounced up. I stand corrected. It ends immediately as I say it.
Yeah, tries to get the two-frame with the bang.
Oh, that's dead.
Yeah, what a top deck from Zyro. I know he's in there reeling in his chair because he definitely did not read the text there, just throwing it out. Typical hero things.
Yeah, you gotta love hate a hero that's willing to top deck, just really, literally willing to just let it rip. Let Jesus take the wheel, put it in God's hands.
Yes, sir. All right, and Tux has a little bit of ground to make up. Zyro over putting on some decent extra credit, 20% on Tux's second stock. And, you know, Hero's not one of those lighter characters. Let's see if he catches him. Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah, he reads the match there. And Zyro's going to lose his first stock. 20%, not, nothing to less mark at. Oh, okay, magic burst.
Didn't quite catch him, evades it, but now he's on ledge.
Yeah, now when he uses his magic burst, he loses all of his MP. So Zyro has to be very careful here. Building up some now, so he should be okay if he gets sent off the stage. All right, dash attack. Oh, catching Tux in these jumps from ledge. You got to be wary of that. Okay, Zyro's getting charged up. Get him in the Super Saiyan.
He might not need it, honestly, here. The Rob at 108. You got to be precautious here. The combo coming through long distance. Throws the top.
Okay, and that was half of his shield from one back air. Okay, nice spot dodge into the F tilt. Yep, we're still using them day ones.
Oh, it's been good. Oh, tried to roll through it. That did not happen.
Yes, sir. And Zyro catching him with that down smash. And then this time he's looking a lot more healthier. I don't know, man. I don't know if this Rob could make the play. I mean, Tux isn't doing too bad of a job. He's keeping Zyro on his toes, but I feel like maybe he didn't have the impact of the Luigi. Maybe it's not practice.
Ooh.
Oh, no tech. Okay, trying to set up the ledge traps here. Oh, Zyro just trying to end it there, but Rob does have that fuel, so he would have made it back.
Rob can kill here, at which point this becomes a pretty even game. But like you said, this is not so much a bad Rob as it is hero being hero, it feels like.
Yeah, and I like Zyro taking his time. Every time he sets the neutral back, he goes to the other side of the ledge, and I'm pretty sure he's fishing in his menu to see if he can find that bounce. I know once he gets that online, he's going to be a lot more comfortable against the Rob and not have to worry about that gyro and projectiles.
Not seeing Rob being willing to really aggressively try and hit him on ledge there because he knows that's dangerous.
And there it is, that bounce, man. Oh, get him with the magic burst.
Yeah.
He has to delay this recovery.
But he still makes it. He's still in this. There's still hope for Rob the robot.
Okay, the rolls, man. And I'm surprised Tux isn't calling out these rolls from Zyro. He's doing it too much. Oh, getting gritty within that up smash.
And now we play the waiting game. A little standoff there. I really feel like this is about to be like... I feel like we are one down smash away from...
Okay, down smash. Here comes the rhythm.
Oh!
And he catches him again. Zyro, I don't know what he's doing here. He waits for the match, and he's pre-mashing. He should be able to get out of that pretty freely.
Now, if the Rob the Robot manages to kill at 92%, then I feel like we all have some apologies to make to Rob.
Yeah, oh, that's going to do it, though. That magic burst.
Never mind. No one needs to apologize. It's okay. You can continue saying bad things about Rob. Continue. Or good things about Hero. I mean, it's Hero, so it's really absolutely no surprise. But that was a wild game to watch. We already have an unexpected pick coming through that worked out. It was not bad by any means.
Yeah, honestly, I got to give it to Tux, man. Being able to take 2 stocks off of Zyro there with the Rob, something I personally know that I haven't seen before. It shows just what these players have been doing. Like, with COVID going on, it has been a long hiatus. These players are picking up new characters, and they're starting to show, especially with Tux. Good stuff to him. Yeah,
I mean, if there's anything that's a great pressure cooker for coming up with new weird strategies, because that's something that I do all the time, is just sit back and go for it. That's me in any fighting game. That's me in a lot of things, is I always go for the weird pick. I always want to be the one who's like, listen, I know I'm probably not going to be the best around, but I can have the best this one weirdo that nobody plays.
Right, there you go.
You stand for something. It's a path of honor.
Yeah, and that can be a mental warfare game. You know, maybe Zyro wasn't ready for the Rob. Unfortunately, he was ready this time. But like I said, Tux did put in that work, taking away 2 stocks. So Zyro is going to start off this next match with whoever Team Grandmaster decides to play with 1 stock. And, you know, Tux did his damage. So we'll see what's going to happen with this next pick from Team Grandmaster. Looks like they got the stage already. I don't know who they picked.
No, we'll find out in just a moment. We are going to get a chance to see the picks go through in action. It looks like...
I know who that is. That's my boy Feed.
Yeah,
I saw the Falco walk in.
It's time for Falco.
Yes, sir. All right. And Feed, an advocate of Falco, the Falco agenda. Can I get some Falco agendas? I know the people there, they know. Let me hear it. They don't even, they're putting their thumbs down. They know the Falco agenda is here.
Falco! Here we have Eddie. Whether you're a Falco fan or a Falco hater, let us know. Again, get the noise up in the arena because it's time for us to get into our next matchup. Yes, please do. I promise you that Falco feeds on your disdain.
Yes, sir.
It fuels him. He's only getting stronger.
All right, after a little bit of trolling and a little bit of side shuffling and dancing, we're going to get some taunts out, and then we're going to get this started off. Like we said, Zyro did lose 2 stocks to Tux, so he is going to start this with 1 stock, and Theed with a healthy 3 stocks. And now, Theed does, like I said, Theed's Falco, Schnashky. He does play Ridley, and I do say that he says Ridley's his main, but we all know it's Falco, man.
I mean, when you play characters like Falco, it's kind of hard for that not to be your main.
Yeah.
Because if you invest any serious degree of time, then congratulations, you're top tier.
Yeah.
And then anybody else you play is like, well, you could always switch to the Pocket Falco, and it's like, come on.
Right, Falco's a legit character, man. He's a legit character in this game. Got some pretty decent buffs, especially in the couple patches ago to that down air. Very deadly weapon. He's dang near melee down air again. I mean, you know, not quite the power of that, but hey, he's just as good.
It's enough that it's a problem, certainly. It's been a problem for me every time I've seen it.
All right, and then Feed over here trying to put on a show, going to fire Falco into the stage and get an F smash. Good thing it wasn't a crit, 'cause that could have been a stock.
Absolutely. With the air now.
All right, I like these up throws. Yep.
You are at kill range.
Yep, these are archer combos, and he does have these unlocked. Okay, percent too high now. We'll be able to grab those. Kind of try to mix it up when he gets these grabs ready. Oh!
Not quite.
Read the roll.
Yeah, very risky endeavor there. Zyro doesn't lose that. Oh, that's going to be...
And Zyro with the hocus pocus, man. These guys are just having some fun. I'm gonna need Theed to take away this stock, because there's no way he's just gonna let him live here, right? He got bad.
No. Oh, no.
Theed?
No, what are you doing? Oh, my God.
Again. All right, it's looking kind of dangerous. I think Theed's going to understand that he has a lot of percent,
yeah,
and he just runs into the F smash.
There you go. So, for the folks out there watching that might not be familiar with this format for the games, because we saw him starting off with just the 1 stock, because of course he lost the 2 in the last one. Right. How do you feel like this differs in terms of the in terms of the sort of strategies going in here? Because I was looking at trying to go, you have 1 stock, you're going up against Falco, and you're playing Hero. Anytime you're playing Hero, I feel like your go-to strategy is to just go completely buck wild, just be crazy, because Hero is a very good, like, let it rip kind of a character. Like, if you want to live or die playing Hero, feels like very much so in your heart to me.
Yeah.
But when you have 1 stock, you got to play a kind of a precautious game, I feel like.
Yeah, but then again, Theed kind of just has that privilege, right? He has the stock lead. He just knows that he can go in, do what he needs to do. And, like, in Zyro's head, the only thing he was thinking about was damage control, right? All he wanted to do was potentially get a stock, maybe 2. Best case scenario, he knocks Theed out and puts in another player. I think the strategy, especially when it comes to crew battles, is you want to stop the bleeding, right? You don't want one player to decimate half of your squad, and then, you know, you have to have your carry come in and your anchor come in and clean up and try to get 12 stocks, you know? So with Tux being able to take those 2 stocks, it really made Theed be able to come in here and play that aggressive playstyle, which I think was a very smart pick on Team Grandmaster's side. Theed does like to do those little kind of like flashy moves and kind of, if you will, disrespect his opponent. So having that 2 stock advantage definitely was able to let him do that. And, you know, he kind of cleaned up Zyro, and now he's equalized it back to 12 stock, and we're going to see who Team Foe's going to bring out next.
Things still very even, but that might not be the case the entire time. It's very possible we can see somebody manage to get at the very least, a clear of somebody entirely and get a lead on their hands. Perhaps even in this next matchup, taking a look at who we've got on deck.
Okay, now this is a dangerous character or player on Team Foe side hopping on right now. We got Caius, and Caius is another one of those players who, if he smells that you're getting bodied, he's going to take that a mile, and he will not stop. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see these two players play against each other. These guys are great friends. I know they play against each other a lot. They are borderline trading partners, if you will. So it's definitely good to see. And I'm loving that Kai is sticking with his Cloud, man. I love seeing this character when he plays it to such a good degree, man. A lot of people gave Cloud a lot of flack in this game, saying he wasn't such a great character. But I like the Cloud main sticking with characters. He did receive a couple of significant buffs that made him a better character.
Yeah.
So interesting to see what's going to happen here.
This is absolutely the kind of a game where you're going to have some of the most loyal mains. I don't like Smash mains are some of the most loyal people that I've seen in any kind of a fighting game, because like you're not going to, if you've been waiting your entire life to see Cloud Stripe in a fighting game, you're not just going to stop playing him because he's bad.
Oh, and reads that down tilt and feed with the pretty early stock on Caius here.
Already off to a pretty good start here. This might just be the beginnings of that kind of a lead situation here, but Cloud is doing a lot, still on 0.
Yeah. All right. You know, and I like the crew battles as well, because it kind of gives those players a lot of times players take a little while to activate or turn on. But in a crew battle, you only have your 3 stocks and that's it. So I'm interested to see what kind of an adaptation Caius can do here to equalize these stocks out. Because right now he's, he's kind of running away with this. 56% on him in the second stock, and Falco does put on the damage.
Absolutely, that's building very fast, but I mean, at 110, really only needs, there we go. Fill up that limit a little bit.
Okay, I know Caius just did it. He didn't think. He said, you know what? Yes, sir.
Oh, there they go. Bring him down with him.
I told you, man. They just disrespect. They don't care.
Absolutely ruthless. A lot of pressure is going to come out of Shield and immediately go into that classic Falco combo. This is picturesque Falco right here.
Yes, sir. Don't land on me. I have my up tilt best move in the game. Don't at me. The Falco agenda is here. Speed is putting on a show. Is he going to get a 0 to death?
No, not quite. Close. That's that, though. No.
DI from Kai.
Beautiful DI. Managed to stay alive. Not for long, though. Oh, my God. What was that read?
Yo.
What was that? Oh, my God. Yo, he read him like a fiddle and played him like a book. That was crazy.
Yo.
Oh. I feel like if you play Falco, you dream of that moment. That's like, hoping for that to happen is like what gets you through the day. It's like the happy thought that takes you off to like good dreams at night. Like you're just hoping that one day there'll be like a compilation video with you doing that in it.
That man needs a hug. Someone give that man a hug. I told you, man. I told you, Thede. He's that player, man. Like, a lot of people kind of slept on Thede, I think. He ended up moving at the end of our last PR season, and he was up there. He put in his due diligence. He was working at it. He is a lab fiend. If he can grind and someone's down, he'll make the trip. But yeah, man, he's out here. He's showing the Falco agenda strong. I know people hate it, but I mean, the sauce is in the pudding, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You see what he's doing?
Yeah. It's you really cannot deny what is on the cut. It is the wild thing to see in action. And now I feel like this is going to be a particularly rough one, because we talked about trying to play it a little bit safer, at the very least keep things nice and even in this crew battle kind of a format. But I got to be honest, I'm looking at a Falco, and I'm saying there's a very strong chance of him picking up a stock right at the start.
Okay, now we have EXO. Residency, and I'm surprised he's playing Lucario. I'm glad he's playing Lucario. This is tried and true, man. He loves this character to death. And honestly, it's a smart pick in a crew battle, especially with a map like Kalos here. Going to be able to take advantage of that rage. As long as Steve can't take away his stock very early, it doesn't matter if he goes up to percent with Falco, because at the end of the day.
What? I'm sorry? Come again? I'm not sure about that.
I don't. Okay, so.
That was.
Okay, so either he's trying to do them a pseudo or Anubis method and trying to take his first stock to get out of that extra rage, which I don't understand in a crew battle.
Yeah, I was in crew battle. You couldn't be.
I don't. I mean, I guess it makes sense, because I guess if he feels that if he can't take a stock and he's on this second stock, he'll automatically have rage going into his next opponent that comes from Team Grandmaster. But Thede punishing EXO's strategy with that down air. I told you, man, that buff down air. And now he's on the back end, and this is what I was talking about, man. When it comes No.
Here's some cheering.
They want the 3-stock. They want the Falco. I'm telling you, man.
They're hungry for it. There's blood in the water right now. This just might happen.
I've never seen this much cheering for a Falco in my life.
Oh my God! If there's anything that can motivate people to root for Falco, it's spite.
Okay.
Looking to see something bad happen out here.
Yeah, Theed's over here putting on his show, man. And this is some dangerous one. Okay, nice B reverse into the Aura Sphere, but couldn't get a conversion off of it.
Oh, miss on the Aura Sphere.
Yeah, here comes these B reverses yet again, but he's gonna need to get a conversion off of this, and I don't know if he can. The sense he's at right now.
God, it is crazy how Falco is at 110%, but Lucario is scared.
Yeah, I mean, you know, Exo's realizing he owns his last stock, and he's building up. He has the rage, but I mean, it doesn't matter if Theed is your stock at 70%.
Because they could both die to the next combo here.
Yeah, and I love Theed's awareness that Exo's throwing out these Aura Spheres and just kind of.
Ooh.
Oh my God!
Oh, that hurts. Oh, that hurts. The Falco lives. The Falco lives.
Yikes.
Did you get what you want, you animals? Did you get what you were hoping for?
Yikes.
This is what you wanted to see. Are you not entertained?
Okay.
And Lucario eaten up by the Falco. I said it, didn't I? I said it. If anybody was going to pull something like this, it would be one of the space animals. I knew it.
Yeah.
I knew it would be a Star Fox character.
Yeah, you said it. Okay, now this is where it gets interesting because the only two players left on Team Foe is Dr. Q and Foe himself. With Grandmaster still not even playing, they're still liking on his team. Who else do they still have?
They got a couple of folks.
They got Lycan. They have Grandmaster. I know I'm missing something. Quillen. They have Quillen. Oh my God.
What does that tell you?
Okay, so Dr. Hugh's gonna have to put up some heavy work. Honestly, I don't agree. If the Anubis method was the method he was going for to take off his first stock, I don't agree with that. Especially, like I said, in a crew battle, because you're banking on the fact that you take a stock, right? And if you don't, and you lose that second stock, now you're 2 stocks behind. And even if you do end up taking out Theed, which didn't happen, now you have to go into another opponent with just 1 stock. I mean, Lucario's aura is good, but it can only take you so far, especially in a crew battle where mistakes are very limited when it comes down to your stocks.
Yeah, and you can also talk about the fact that you're gonna lose the stocks eventually. You will get your rage on somebody, but I can also kind of see the angle of it's Falco. I gotta get rid of Falco, but again, we can see that even with that, getting rid of Falco is going to be a little bit more difficult than perhaps one may have expected. We do have our stage selection coming through in just a bit, so we'll get to see what's going to be the next site for a bloodbath. And it looks like we're going back to Pokemon Stadium too.
Okay, yeah. And it looks like Dr. Hugh is the one sitting down, so I'm interested to see if he's going to do the Luigi and or the Peach. Or maybe another character, you know? Like I said, with Tux, we expected Luigi, we got a Rob, so I know Hugh does play Luigi and he does play co-main him and Peach. We're going to get the Luigi, okay. Another one of the characters I know you're really excited to see. You said
it's time for some justice. If there's anything that sums up my preferred flavor of Smash Brothers, it's Falco losing to Luigi. So we might just see that. We just might. But, I mean, I've clearly seen underestimating Theed is a recipe for disaster. Not that I feel like we've been expecting bad things out of him so far. We know he's going to be a problem. But is it going to be too much of a problem even for 3 stocked up Luigi? I don't believe so.
All right, we'll see. And be careful now. Don't blink. Dr. Hugh gets this grab. It could spell death. Here. Oh, doesn't get it, which is interesting. Even on a fast player like Falco, still can modify the damage, or modify the combo to get the damage out.
Come on, all we need is to get him up to what, 80, and then hit him with a misfire? It could happen.
I mean, Falco's about 25% left. Instead, Dr. Yu houses down throws and the up B DI reads. Falco can lose his life.
Oh, no.
What
oh, no.
Oh, my God. What did you guys put in this man's water?
What did he put in his Wheaties this morning?
Oh my.
He's on the breakfast of champions. Falco on his last stock determined to just be a problem for everybody going after. How many people are going to die to this monster?
This man ate his Wheaties and everyone else's. Oh my God, still living. Great DI from Theed there.
Are you really going to fight this entire game plus 100% again? Is this going to happen twice in a row? No, that's definitely not going to kill, but he is off stage. Come on, Luigi. Come on, Luigi, don't lose another stock, please. Luigi, no, not like this.
Okay, in the back
there we go.
Yeah,
there we go.
All right, but Theed, man, did his due diligence and really put a dent inside Team Foe's squadron. Like,
boy,
he cleared out more stocks than he needed to.
Yeah, and I mean, who knows what's coming up next? So this is gonna be.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You know, they still have Lycan, Grandmaster, and Quillen, all three great players, and honestly, some characters that I think match up pretty well against Luigi.
Yeah, I mean, we're definitely seeing one team on the back foot here, at least for a minute. And if there's gonna be a change around in that, the fact that it's gonna be coming from a contentious character, we can say at the very least. I feel like on one hand, it's hard to say that Luigi is bad, but I also feel like it's easy to say that Luigi is not top tier. Smash is a game where out of any fighting game I've ever played, I trust anyone's tier list in Smash the least. I feel like more so than any other game, like so much everybody's tier list is like a suggestion that's based on like the players, the mood, what the weather's like that particular day. There's such a wide, which makes for a very, very lively, again, the possibility to play 5 different characters and see such a huge variance in anybody's top 8, anybody's top 16, things like that.
Yeah, I would agree to an extent. I definitely think Luigi is a phenomenal character. Do not let his quirkiness fool you. Luigi is a, if you will, broken character. But I definitely think that he will struggle against, like I said, the characters' arsenals that comes out from the rest of the team members of Team Grandmaster. Like I said, Luigi has a pretty hard time getting in, and a lot of these characters like the snakes, the Palatinas, and we're seeing the snake, all right,
there you go.
And Lycan, yeah. So like I said, it's going to be really hard, especially if Lycan plays a zoning game, for Luigi to kind of get in there. He's going to have to try to box his way in, which, you know, close quarters combat, especially Lycan, he's pretty prevalent when it comes to things like that too. So when you have a character that can zone you out like Snake and also get you with those close quarters, it's going to be really difficult for this to happen.
Here we go, start it off. And again, please remember my Cole's words the next time I see somebody's tier list. I saw someone recently, because it was a patch recently, of course. Recently, I saw somebody putting Luigi in B tier. I said, what game are you playing? so it's not just me. Someone far better at Smash than I am is able to co-sign here. And let that give a little bit of motivation to you if you are rooting for Hugh right now to find out some kind of a winning strategy against Snake. Oh, that's a clean combo.
Yep.
Oh, no.
Yep. And he let him go. I'm not sure if they're banning stages when it comes to the new player coming in. I assume they're doing like a one ban type thing and then they're letting him pick a stage. Honestly, I don't know what Team Foe was doing, letting Snake come to Battlefield, but as you're seeing, Lycan going to work here, man. This is Snake's playground, man. He has grenades, C4, whatever he wants, man.
This is a very dangerous situation right now for Hugh. He's got Rage, just might be able to pick up the stock if he's very, very tactical about it.
Yeah, and I was going to say, Dr. Hugh's doing a pretty good job of not doing these multi-hits when Lycan's throwing out his grenade and shielding.
No.
Yeah, not much you can do there. But he wasn't getting hit by like multi-hitting when he's shielding when he has the grenade in his hand to activate the bomb. But yeah, as you see, it's just almost borderline impossible for Luigi to get his way in here.
It sucks. It's like you're fighting your opponent and the stage at the same time. Sudden death is already kicked in. There's bombs everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, Dr. Q's literally only option here is try to get Lycan to go low. I mean, it's just getting him there, you know?
Just trying to get in. Again, it's this maze of fiery explosions. Just getting nothing. Luigi has no combo potential right now.
It doesn't react to his rollout. The tech rollout, I'm surprised. Dr. Q usually would read that with an up B, and instead, Lycan was able to reversal it to him, and now put Dr. Q in disadvantage.
This looks like it just might be it. Like Team Grandmaster is still going to have quite the stock lead on their hands.
Yeah, it's looking pretty grim. Like I said, with Dr. Q needs to at least do some damage and take away this first stock or something, because it's getting a little difficult for him now. And like to run away with this, and the last thing you want is your last player, the anchor.
It hurts. It hurts so bad, particularly when you can't even say that you died fighting him. It's when you die from like across the screen to like a well-placed trap. They just get to see Snake in the distance, like kind of chilling.
Yeah.
Able to like put up an easy chair, kick his feet back.
Yeah, like I said, it's just really hard, man. Like Luigi in that matchup is, you saw it, you know, like you said, it's really hard for him to try to fight his way through there, because trying to box Snake out it's just not working for him. And with that, I mean, the only person you have left on Team Foe is Foe. And now he needs to go through 2 actual PR players, one of which we said the sets kind of go back and forth when it comes to Grandmaster, especially when it comes to just a 1-game set. We only have 3 stocks. Not only does he have to go through that, he still has to get through Lycan, who has all 3 of his stocks. I know he's pretty comfortable in it, especially playing Ness into the Snake. It's a pretty decent matchup for him. You know, can't lie. That side magnet is going to suck up everything in the kitchen sink. But I think him and Lycan play enough where Lycan can adapt to these certain situations. And like I said, we only have 3 stocks and it's not a best of 3 set. You only need to take those 3 stocks. And Lycan's more than capable of taking this. So a lot of work on Freddy's side.
I mean, it's certainly going to be an easier matchup than what Luigi had to go through, which is a nightmare zone. But at the same time, you still are fighting the Snake and trying to get through that and feeling like in this kind of a situation with as much has been taken off of them already, like you really need to sweep the Snake.
Yeah.
It's a rough prospect. But we do see the Nest coming through. So that is going to be prediction come true. No interesting, super wild picks, at least so far. But even if the Nest does manage this, they got problems. We got problems to deal with in the very next matchup. That he has to preserve as many of these stocks as possible. So I feel like this is going to have to be a very, very precautious game for Foe.
Yeah. All right, matchup being the stage. Yeah, and I think in this matchup, and there you go, the side magnet is sucking up that grenade, mitigating all the damage that he just took. And I think that's going to be the one thing that is going to be very good for Foe here, is that he's going to be able to kind of play his play style that kind of counter Zony more so aggressively Ness, right? Not have to worry too much about racking up the damage, because anytime Lycan decides that he wants to try to set the neutral back to his just grenade throwing or throwing out one of his projectiles, the Foe can just throw out that side magnet and suck up all the damage again and just reset his health back. So
for anything to be anchored, that seems like a very, very good thing to have some form of consistent damage reduction to be able to help shore up things. A perfect pick for, again, this exact kind of a situation. Still having to really utilize it hardcore considering how much he has to get through. And it really looks like that ledge guarding there, Ness is going to be able to make it home. Just barely gets the ledge, gets up and slaps him across stage.
Yeah, I honestly think that was what saved him. I don't think he would have actually made it back to stage. I mean, I don't think necessarily Hands going to be doing like that. Oh, and the unstackable with the... Okay, we're going to go in with a nice little taunt. And this is how it starts. Okay, I'm going to get some health back, but still pretty dangerous lead. Oh, wow, doesn't side magnet from ledge, and Lycan just calling it out. Said, hey, it's either going to hit or you're going to get the percentage, but I'm still going to do it. And he let it rip, and it worked.
Yeah, just why not? Let it loose. Beautiful Nest combo there. Snake is clean with it, rolls into the jabs. We're seeing good pressure. Again, the Foe is doing great here, but he's trading with Lycan right now, and that's not what he needs. He needs a completely dominant kind of a game. He does not want to go into whatever is awaiting for him after this with 1 stock.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Lycan's doing a way better job now, throwing out his aerials instead.
Oh
wow.
No!
He put him in the box set.
Oh my God!
All right, and Foe on his last stock, man, and it's looking a little grim for Team Foe here, man. Team Grandmaster still has 8 stocks left. Oh my God, and Lycan's putting in the hurt.
I mean, as much as if there's anything that should keep Foe going here, there's any like morale boost, it's just thinking in the back of your head, how juicy would it be if I did this?
Oh
no, that is very brutal there. A lot of ledge guarding work happening there. The spike! Again, how incredible would it be if it happened? Can you imagine if it happened? He would never, no matter what happens to him for the rest of his days in Smash, he loses anyone against anyone could be like, yeah, remember what I did against Team Grandmaster that one time, though?
Yeah, definitely. But it's still, okay.
Wild. Absolutely wild. But I mean, not unexpected. It can't say that it's a baffling turn of events.
Yeah.
Backed up against the wall, absolutely. Oh my God, a very well-earned pop-out. Team Grandmaster successfully handling that. I mean, there was a lot of great play across the board. Snake and Falco really did a lot of work on that.
Yeah.
Especially Falco.
Especially the Falco, yeah. Theed really showing up here. I think took something like, 7 stocks? He ended up, he took out Caius' stocks. He took out all of Exo stocks and a stock off of Hugh, correct?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, so 7 stocks. So yeah, definitely Theed, I would have to say the MVP of Team Grandmaster here, pretty much decimating the squad up, and putting in that work.
Absolutely. And speaking of said work, we're going to take a quick look at the highlights from that match as we have plenty to look back on. I fondly remember this Rob. Rob is a very, very weird character. Rob, tends to look very good whether or not Rob is actually doing well. But in this, I feel like Rob did pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, and then we're going to see the Falco here, kind of the highlight reel, if you will. Mm-hmm. He put in all the work, just throwing it out there, man. Just like I said, just the Falco agenda, bro. Just the Falco agenda.
It's absolutely wild. And again, for those of us unfamiliar with the Falco agenda, can you elaborate a little bit more?
Oh man, I wish I could elaborate more. It's just Steed's sauce, man. You know,
it's just him.
He's like, look, there's Falco. He's the character. And if you know the Falco agenda, you know. And if you don't, you don't.
Hey, well, I mean, I feel like a lot of people have been well informed tonight because certainly you cannot look at this matchup and not give credit where credit is due. I'm going to give credit to Cloud for that down smash. Any play that involves taking him down with you, like that, the Donkey Kong grab, I love seeing that every time. On the back of my head, I'm always like, this is so stupid. I love it, you know?
Yeah, that up smash, man. Oh, my God. From the platform, so decimating. And then, yeah, this I think right here is what really hurt. That down air, going to be able to take his second stock, and then he just kind of ran away with it here.
Absolutely did. And this was really a rough thing to watch in action because it was just trying to fight for the entire time. It was crazy. But Thedium successfully, really, I feel like, set up Team Grandmaster to have a nice, comfortable game. You really got to give props again. And in fact, we're gonna question him a little bit. I want some answers.
Yeah.
I want some answers for him.
There you go. Yeah.
I feel like we really need to discuss. I mean, a big one like that has got to have some positive feelings about it.
Oh,
because
yeah. I know he has a couple choice words he wants to say.
A couple of things.
I know he has a couple of things.
A little bit of information he'd like to share with not only his friends, his enemies, and the viewing public who've all come through. And thank you again for coming through here to the esports arena. Let's take a look at some Smash Brothers. It's been a minute for me, so I hope that if there's anybody else out there who is just not coming through for the first time in a while, if there's anybody out there who has been just enjoying the return to form as we come out of quarantine to get back into seeing events like this happen in the first place. I hope it has been as heartwarming for you as at that moment. I'm sorry. Let me come out of the wholesome mode to talk about that. That was infuriating. That was injustice. It's rude. That's one of those things where, like, your in real life morale meter should go down. But like I said, we're going to go out there and we're going to talk to Thedium a little bit about his big win, about his team's big win, because we have a lot to discuss.
Yeah.
All right, Thedium, you are on with us. Thank you so much for joining us here at the arena once again. And I mean, congratulations on really putting the sandbag on your opponents there.
Thanks, man. I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to show up. I'm happy to put the team on my back.
Certainly. So again, that was a wild set. You really did manage to get a pretty big step ahead for everybody there. Were you concerned at all going into this about anything you're going up against, or was this all going according to the agenda?
I mean, for the most part, I've played everybody over on Team Foe separately, and I feel pretty good going up against pretty much anybody. I was really thinking, we were talking before the match started, just basically what we were thinking. We just decided to go with the flow and see what happens. All I'm going to say, though, is that they should have put Freddie in earlier because they needed him.
Oh, man. Big talking. And I mean, you really can talk like that when you had, the performance that you had, Steve. You really did back it up. We saw a couple of the clips. Most of the clips was the highlights from your Falco here. Now, as I was saying earlier, I know that you do. I say you main Falco. I know that you like to co-main the Ridley, and your Ridley has enough sauce as well. But I wanted to know, was there a thought process of you potentially picking Ridley into this crew battle? I know that he is a bigger character, so maybe you weren't really feeling it. Maybe. What was your thought process between picking the Falco or the Ridley?
If that's me, I'd love to hear you guys right now. Okay, I can't hear right now. It's hype out here in the esports arena.
Oh, yeah. Sorry about that. Yeah, so I was saying, I know that you do co-main the Ridley. Was there any preparation or thought process going into this crew battle that made you decide the Falco over the Ridley, or was there any that influenced your pick with the character? No?
And we'll never know.
We'll never know.
Those secrets are lost to the sands of time, folks. You'll have to be here at the arena. Let me try. I'll try to project it a little bit. We want to know what made you decide to go for the Falco versus the Ridley. Whether or not there was anything about the team battle structure, we were talking earlier about you saying that you like to main the Ridley, but clearly you got enough power on the Falco to do some serious work. Was there anything particularly behind that decision?
Well, for the most part, I usually like to play against most people with Falco. I keep really kind of in the back pocket for when I need them. The only person that I was thinking about going Ridley against, or if I would have needed to, would have been Foe. I definitely like Ridley better against Ness than Falco. It's not, per se the best matchup or a more favorable matchup. It's just, a personal preference thing. But, good enough that it didn't have to come to that. Would have loved to see if the Falco could have done some damage. But, the rest of the team was able to come through and put in the work where I couldn't.
Right, absolutely. That is, again, phenomenal work there. Certainly can't say anything other than that coming through. I will say, if you did, given how he performed there, if you had been in that final match, do you think you would have wanted to have the Ridley up against him for Foe? Or do you feel like you could have gone the whole way just with Falco?
It definitely either would have been very, very close or very, very not close, as in like last hit or a 3-stock. It wasn't going to be anywhere in between the two of us. So.
Two extremes, but one way or another, man, you came through with the big win. Big props to you for that, and thank you for entertaining all of our folks here in the arena. This has been a spectacular thing, but it is about time for us to wrap up. Once again, thank you for joining me. This has been a wild kind of game. I love me some fighting games, so I'm so glad I got to come through. Have any closing thoughts for our very, very enthusiastic viewing public?
Yeah, man, I just want to say, thanks for having me. It has been a while since I got off this rest from doing a little commentating. Just like you, man, I love fighting games and I love commentating them. So, again, I appreciate you guys. Thank you, Esports Arena. You guys are amazing. Production's awesome. And to our viewers out there, make sure you drink water, stay hydrated out there, and keep gaming, man. That's what we're here for. That's what we do.
That's all we have for you. So thank you so much for joining us. That is going to be all, but this has been the Esports Arena. This has been Smash Brothers. We will see you again some other time. Welcome, one and all. It is time for some Rainbow Six Siege. I hope you're hype out there in the arena tonight because we have a great tournament ahead of us. This is going to be a wild one. My name is Caleb. I'm joined by Tom. Tom, are you as excited as I am to get into things?
Oh, you know I am thrilled for some Rainbow Six Siege action. This is one of my favorite games. I'm thrilled that it's back in the arena, and let me tell you, these players here tonight, they are thrilled as well. They've been clamoring for this tournament. They've been clamoring for this match forever. And guys, I told them in the Discord, I said, we're going to bring back Siege on March 32nd. Well, guess what? It's March 32nd in here tonight because we are back in action.
Effectively, it is the 32nd. And I got to say, I have been very, very hyped for a lot of things returning to the arena. It is great to see things starting to come alive again. It's great to see that the community has managed to persevere through these things. We've all managed to stay safe, all managed to do our due diligence and getting back into things. And now that the possibility of having events like this is here again, it is so refreshing to see very similar energy to what we left off with.
That is right. We are getting right into it, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, here, this is a show match. $350 for first place, $150 for second. And we are headed into the pick and ban phase. And we are going to be banning, no surprise, right off the top, Thatcher going to be the first pick banned for this game on Consulate. Thatcher, so critical to pretty much any play you want to do. He makes everything easier because he is a do-it-all machine. His gadget blocks out anything that you're going to want to throw at him, and that is going to be absolutely clutch. He is what disables everything that those defenders are going to have, so of course he's going to be the first one out. Jackal, the second one out, no surprise there, because Jackal, his special ability, of course, gets them toes. He goes out, and he's going to track your footprints, and that makes it really, really annoying for players who are going to be playing as roamers.
We're also seeing a ban on Valkyrie, it looks like. Valkyrie coming through. This is going to be very interesting. It sets up not only, like any pick and ban, any kind of a game, sets up our understanding not only of what the teams are probably going to want to go for, but what they consider dangerous, what's going to be detrimental to the game plan coming forward. So what are you getting out of seeing our last two ban picks?
So the Valkyrie, that is a strictly information kind of ban. They want to make sure that there is one less operator out there that can gather a ton of information for that defensive side. Valkyrie with those remote cams that you can place anywhere, especially on a map like Consulate where you can peek outside and throw them in the trees and get some really obscure creative positioning. That's not going to happen in this game. That's one less thing you have to worry about. And then Mira, that's just a ban to try and make sure that these setups are going to be a little more difficult. Mira's a super powerful operator, being able to put up those Mira walls, and now attacking teams not going to have to deal with that here as we have our picks coming out. And we enter the sixth pick phase for any repicks that are coming out. And it looks like we will have one repick going on. We will see who it's going to be. And there we have it. Of course, the players all playing immediately in front of us here. So we're going to be a little bit coy, trying to avoid some call-outs and things like that until we get into the match and trying to avoid, giving anyone any unfair advantages here.
All right, just keep it casual, to being generally excited. I got to be honest, I see Knock and I see Sledge, so I'm already happy. That's really all I need to be happy about seeing a game of Siege, because those are, just look at them. Just look at them. You know we're going to get one of the cleanest looking characters in this game, in my opinion. You know we're going to get those bonks out of Sledge.
Oh,
it's going to be a good game.
You know that anytime there's a Sledge, it means we're going to have some hoops going on in this one, and we are going to be underway here for round one, starting with the meme phase, as you would call it if you're playing on casuals, because this is the phase in casuals where you're on your phone looking at memes while the rest of your team has to drone out. Meanwhile, the defensive side going to be setting up here and getting ready for this basement defense.
This is one of the really, when I think esports, this is one of the games that comes to mind. It is one of the most esports to esport by far, which we've had a lot of tonight. I mean, League, this, like, what other kinds of games like immediately come to mind, some of the things that really got their start in sort of like the greater phase of very strong push for things like big-scale tournaments, big-scale competition, things like this, like CSGO.
I was about to throw out CSGO, games like that, Quake, the original esport.
The founding father.
As we're getting ready, and we are getting in here. They're out of the meme phase and into the action phase for round one. 2:25 left to go in this one, and that's the thing. When you're playing competitively like this, that timer clicks down so quickly, and you're going to see there the Nomad popping one of the charges for it. And those are great roamer defenses, but not going to help anything there because the defender did not come out of that stairwell and instead able to hit Elite for quite a bit of damage there before retreating back very wisely, and you see Sledge here hollowing out the entire top, trying to get that peek down onto sight. Just narrowly going to be missing.
Quite able to hit there. There's a little bit of blowback, in fact.
And the Nomad getting killed immediately in sight right there. So now the Thatcher, or the Thermite, I should say, is going to be able to take out that garage wall, and that is very big for any push that this team is going to want to make into sight, and it opens up a massive, massive window. Going to drone that out now as the Marusi is watching from a side bomb. Well, you see Knock here as Sledge is going to go down. Sledge managed to do his job hollowing out that entire top floor, but it is going to be 3v4 here. Knock trying to get some shots, and it looks like gets the wall bang headshot there.
Dang. Oh, but retaliation is close at hand there, so it doesn't get to live on that victory long.
That is right. Bandit coming in now and dropping both the Knock and the Thermite. That is going to be Diffuser down, which means that it is just a 3v1 here, and will Clouds be able to clutch it? Clouds is a very great player, one of the best on this team for sure. But he's going to have to deal with both Jabba and Zool here, who already have a beat on him.
It's going to be a tough one. I mean, good or not, what do you do in a situation like this? What is the play to get through 3 other players?
You just got to get creative here like he does there on that peak, and now it's a 1v1 for Clouds. Clouds tries to go for the wall bang, but Malusi comes out, and Clouds pulls off the clutch. 3v1. Clouds taking round 1.
Jesus, that was crazy. Beautiful hits there.
And that's the thing about bringing a Zofia, and it's no surprise that Clouds, who is definitely this team's leader, is going with a Zofia in that situation, because that is literally a character whose utility is A, entry fragger, and B, just all around. There's never a bad time to have a Zofia on your team. That's the way some of the experts are always going to put it, is there is no situation where you go, you might wish you had someone else, but you're never going to go, I wish I didn't have Zofia right now.
Dang it, all I have is Zofia. This isn't enough for this. I'm
never going to happen.
Yeah. That's the kind of character I like playing in just about anything. I like to, especially when I find myself in matchups in which I am not doing a game I know I'm not going to be the best at, or a game that I know I'm playing with people that are high level than me. I love playing support so that when I am criticized for doing a poor job, at the very least I know that it's, people always want to make on support. Or like, at least I was able to, when I do
you're like,
help
hey,
out.
I'm helping.
Exactly. It's like, listen, I made you a little bit better, if by small fractions. I know I'm not doing anything, but if I can get your health up a little bit or do anything like that, then I've done my part.
Now we're moving on to round 2 here, and they're going to try this again. Bright Zero trying the basement defense once more. It really should have worked. By all metrics, they had it in the bag. It was 3-1, and Clouds just pulls off an incredible clutch, managed to pull off of the stairwell knowing that there was a player with a beat on him, walks back around, drops down, comes through garage. The Bandit had no idea, and that was that, as Elite is going to grab the first kill onto Zool here. And the Malusi is going to be gone. Meanwhile, Smoke coming from up top there as you see the Sledge trying to drone out. And Yasuo, another very talented player, playing as the Bandit here.
So after a setup that should have, by all intents and purposes, should have worked. So it was not a bad plan at all. What do you do here in this next round? Do you try to go for a similar play again, or do you switch things up? What do you think is going to be the go-to plan here for trying to, essentially, I feel like counter-pick Clouds? Is it just going to be like, run similar setup, but really try to aggro-focus Clouds if possible?
Well, the problem is you can't really counter-pick a Zofia. There aren't that many things that are going to be problematic there, and it looks like that's not what they've been doing. They're just going with the same setup that they had and saying we got to hit our shots and execute better, but unfortunately for them, Elite, who in the last game was the first one eliminated, now has 2 kills immediately. And Yasuo already down, and Sushi there just not able to hit those shots. Or rather, that was Elite who goes down, and then Bradley, and so now it's going to be a 2v3 the other way. And Elite really should have been able to get that kill onto the Smoke here. He's going to be down to a quarter health. And Smoke's job, basically, is to survive to the last 30 seconds, because if he can, those smoke canisters that he has will delay anyone to make sure that to delay anyone, to make sure that they get denied any sort of plant. And if you can get down to 30 seconds, you've won the game at that point if that smoke's in the right position. Oh, the headshot comes out there. Zach has 2, 3. Zach has at least 2 in this round. As the Thermite now going to finally take out that garage wall once again and open this site back up. But the problem is the Thermite now, the only one left is Monica. Oh, what a great play, taking out Zach there. There was a quick peek, noticing that the window was going to be the play. Now takes out the camera. Doesn't know where the other 2 players are.
Solid tactics and solid shooting all around here. This has been a spectacle. This is absolutely just running a clinic on how to play this game.
At this level, these players are going to be able to flick on to almost anything in the game. It is incredible, the reflex and the ability that they have. Monica now moving around. Trying to find the exact right place to enter. Knows that this hatch was already breached. Oh, and now there comes the C4, and it's going to take out most of Monica's health, but not all. Trying to get that plant down, but the problem is only 8 seconds left, and all they have to do is wait, because they can wait this out. The plant's going to come down. The shots are going to get fired, and there is nothing that can be done there. Monica it was a rock in the hard place where you know you're the only one. There's no cover for you. You have to get the plant down, but the instant that you start that, the timer, when it hits 0, the round's not going to end. They know that you're planting, and they're both just going to pinch in and get the kill while you're defenseless.
Rough spot again. Another situation that was won a few steps ago, and as a result is going to be, we are now 1-1. Right. Zero and Penta both showing off some pretty remarkable stuff.
It was a great play from Clouds to win round 1, and then Bright Zero really hunkering down and doing what they had to do and actually completing the job in round 2, because that basement defense is going to be one of the easiest defenses that you have. That is the best site for defenders, and now they're going to have to move up from there. And the thing about Consulate is it's very much a lane-based map. Almost, dare I say, Call of Duty-esque, but, you know, only to the certain extent that Siege will ever mirror Call of Duty. They are 2 rather different games. But it is built both on the triplicate lanes going up to down, and it's also built on the lanes that you're going to see here, the 3 hallways that you have that move about the rest of the map. So it's kind of like a grid-layered map. And it's one of the more interesting ones, and definitely one of the more popular ones overall when it comes to online and when it comes to competitive play at this level.
Quite a level it is. Again, this is a beautiful example of the game. For anybody out there who is a big fan of Siege but is looking to pick up some tips, once again, this is some top-tier gameplay. This is absolutely worth emulating, worth taking a close look at, and again, analyzing the strategy. Rainbow, Siege among FPSs is, at least to me, a very, very heady game. It is very much so a match that has a lot of really interesting intricacies to it. The replayability on this is insane. Even for somebody like me who's not particularly good at it, I love getting to analyze people with very, very tight strategies on how to do setups, how to work around these corners, what angles to hit, where to look. It's a beautifully intricate game and a level that a lot of other games try to mimic and not a lot succeed at.
I mean, you can see it. The longevity the game has speaks for itself. We're in year 5, 6 now of this game, and it doesn't show any signs of slowing down. And personally for me, like you said, about how entertaining the pro scene is for this game. Most of the time when I'm casting and I'm doing a new casting gig, I'm going to watch some Pro League from whatever game that is. This is one of the games that I'll just be eating lunch. And I'm like, oh, new VOD on YouTube, boom, throwing that up. I'm watching some Pro League action for this game. It's one of the most fun. The players, of course, are so fun to watch. The casting for it, the entire talent base that they have around the entire ESL Pro League scene for this game is so much fun. As Yasuo gonna trade right there. Sushi gets taken out. And Elite's trying to get this bomb diffuser down. Looks like Elite's going to be able to. No!
Close, but no cigar.
Elite gonna drop diffuser there. Almost had it down. 2v2. Yasuo and Jabba versus Clouds and Monica. Monica playing as the Ashe, Clouds as the Zofia. So 2 very similar operators there. Ashe is a little more speed. Zofia is a little more strength. Meanwhile, on the other side, you have Yasuo as the Bandit. Jabba as the Melusi. Monica firing that breaching round out, trying to create some space. And Clouds there winning that fight with Yasuo, and now it's going to be all down to a Jabba at quarter health. And Jabba manages to get the first one, and it's, oh, this is going to be good. It's a quarter versus a quarter. Whoever's going to hit that first shot is going to win this fight, my friend.
Now we play ourselves a little game, the most dangerous game, in fact.
And the problem here for Clouds is that he's got 35 seconds before he has to have the diffuser going down, which really means that he either has to make a creative plant, make a creative bait right here, or just go all out and go for Jabba. Instead, he's going to get the plant down. C4 is going to come out. That is going to miss. Jabba here still trying to fire. Doesn't quite know where Clouds is at the moment. And this is just a game of cat and mouse now.
This is, the tension right now is astronomical. Somebody is going to have to go through it.
Oh, the air jab!
Oh, my God!
Oh, no one saw the air jab coming. A remnant from the Nomad. And Clouds must have known that it was there and knew that all he had to do, that's why he positioned himself inside that room rather than leaving and trying to cut it to one angle. Because he knew that no matter what happened, as long as he stayed hidden and forced Jabba to come into the room, he was going to get air jabbed, and from there, it was just turn and pivot.
Oh, my God. I saw a Nomad OP go up on screen as well. And again, fair. That was why. In that moment, fair. Anytime something like that happens, I feel like you got justifiable reason to be a little miffed. But that was wild. Again, this is the kind of thing I'm talking about, where there's any kind of a game or any kind of anything where you can see something happen, and all of a sudden your mind flashes back to 6 steps ago. You're like,
yep,
that's why they did that. It's like you mentioned, that's why he positioned himself exactly there. Beautiful play.
The setup, the chess match, great play by Clouds. And now you're going to see Monica bringing the IQ, because now you're going to be on the lookout for a couple more traps after that one.
It's one of those things that makes you paranoid now for the rest of the engagement.
And that's still Clouds' teammate who sees that and goes, you know what, they're probably going to be rolling with a couple more traps now after seeing that. As you're going to see Hager here over on the other side using the Wamai. Zach using the Ella. And that Ella is going to be another trap op, so you do have a lot more traps and a lot more gadgets coming down here. That IQ probably going to be a good play to try and track some of that down and destroy some of that defensive utility, especially because we're going to be up here now on the 2nd floor, opting not to go for that 1st floor lobby defense, which some of the players in this are the remnants of an old team that used to play here in the arena, and one of their favorite pocket strategies on this map was that lobby defense. It's the most difficult area to defend, but they had this strategy for it that would confuse a lot of teams that weren't expecting it. Unfortunately for them, some of the players that were on their team are now on the opposite team in this one and know that strat, so it did not work out of the pocket this time, and now they're going to go to the easier defensive area of 2nd floor. As we get set and we are into the action phase here, Hager taking some flashbang grenades from Clouds on the roof.
Very, very precautious here. But in a great spot. Knows exactly what's going to happen, but he can see which isn't going to push up. Not going to get too crazy with it.
Yasuo here. He's just peeking this angle, waiting for someone to come around into his sights. And you can see there that movement, trying to peek without getting peeked yourself. Oh, and they both see each other.
Goodness.
And Monica is the one who takes the damage. Yasuo in perfect position on the wall.
What an exchange. We are back with Yasuo, just waiting for the chance to fire with the thinnest margin. Again, how many FPS games do you see which people are taking shots that narrow?
Oh, it's the angle.
That's the standard. That's every shot in this game. It's not like every once in a while on somebody's highlights reel is going to get that. It's a level of play. This is everything.
As he goes through the wall there, Bradley taking out Zach, and you're completely right. Siege is a game of angles. 80% of defense in Siege is holding an angle for 2 minutes, looking away at 2 minutes and 1 second, and that's when the player comes and gets it.
That's when you die. The minute you blink, it's just having your eyes open, just having someone with droppers above you so that you never have to blink.
Yep, don't blink in this game, my friend. It is like an episode of Doctor Who as Yasuo's going to get the triple. And now it is a 1v4. If Clouds clutched a 1v3. He clutched a 1v3. We saw it happen.
How many players does it take to defeat Clouds? Is it it's certainly not 3. Is it 4? I guess we're about to find out.
We will find out. It
It's
turns
1.
out it is 1 as Hager knows where Clouds is, goes on the run out and says, okay, I'm just going to finish this one off now. And look at this run out here from the second floor. Knew that he was rappelling around, so he gets to it even before that flashing warning is going to come up that says, hey, by the way, there's an enemy outside.
all done. And once again, all tied up. We are 2-2. This has been a lot to watch in action. We have seen some huge comebacks now, and we've seen some. Again, I feel like we're getting a lot of games with Bright Zero in particular, where it was everything seems like they should be going Bright Zero's way until something happens.
And that is really how it's been. You're completely right. Their plans are working until something unexpected happens, and then all of a sudden it's thrown out the window, and they're getting a little bit flustered. However, in that last round, they were all over it. Nothing doing. You had 4 players still alive. Yasuo got a triple kill. You were not worried at all. You had the right positioning, and you never had to adjust from that course. Now we're going to see what they can do as they go back down to the basement in round 5 as it's become unlocked for them again. Because the big problem here is, in Siege, your defensive rounds are critical. And to be split here through 4 defensive rounds is really not good for Bright Zero.
Seems like the balance that we can strike here is Bright Zero is operating almost entirely on their plans going through well, like you said. So the plan being, it really seems like the win or lose condition is going to be whether or not something exciting, something completely unexpected can go through. And how many times Bright Zero can be surprised. You know, this is a game of creativity on it's improv versus setup, one could say.
I'd argue with that, especially because of the fact that I'd agree with that, especially because of the fact that these aren't 2 teams who are used to playing with each other all the time. I'm sure that they do play with each other a lot, but these aren't 2 specifically organized teams who are spending 8 hours a day in the practice squad.
Mm-hmm. As many are, including many people that I end up actually getting the chance to see. You can
Indeed.
feel the vibe when it's just like, all right, you people are friends. Okay, I understand. Not specifically much in Siege, but in a lot of games, you can feel when people are like sitting in the same room.
Yeah, you can just know that as Hager here is going to throw out his Kaid Electro Claw and then immediately get killed. But his job is done. He's managed to make it more difficult as the Twitch is going to have to send another drone in. And the Twitch, I don't think, has a drone left here.
No.
Bradley with a big double kill, taking out Hager and Jabba. Hager especially one of the better players here on Team Bright Zero. As Zach now gets taken out as well. Bradley and Clouds really down weak, and that smoke is going to do the trick.
Oh.
And Sushi grabs a double.
They're dropping like flies right now.
Oh, it's Sushi versus Zool. There is only Zool. Shooting through the smoke, managing to get some clips.
I got a little bit, didn't kill.
Oh, and the shotgun comes out. That is how low Sushi was on health. Easy as pie.
Phenomenal work there. Came through, cleaned up. What a game. So once again, we see that was...
And that's what's supposed to be happening right here. Bright Zero as a team on the defensive rounds should be able to win these like that, especially down in basement. The fact that they lost round 1 on a 3v1 clutch was really, really unfortunate for them because, frankly, these are the rounds you expect to win, and now we're going to see some interesting picks. Very curious what's going to be happening with the 6th pick here, if it's going to come out. Bradley potentially counter-picking that smoke there after the last one. And we will see as we get into the game. And we can finally talk about exactly what these operators are going to have as the 6 picks come out for both sides. And we're good to go. And so at this point, we can say that Bradley has taken off that Glaz, and he's gone back to knock. Glaz, not a common pick at any level above the... Let me put it this way. I'm a Glaz main, which shows you that I am gold 2 trash. I am not good at this game. I play this game for fun. I greatly enjoy casting it more than I love playing it, but I could never possibly play it at this level. And that is why I'm a Glaz main. That is not a pick that you're going to see very often coming out here. And so it was no surprise that they 6-pick off of it. The only reason I could see them maybe using it was there you saw Sushi getting shot at through the smoke that Zool was able to throw out. Glaz would counter that, but that's a very, very specific circumstance you're trying to set up for there.
I mean, hey, it's a setup that can work, it seems, every so often in the right circumstances. But I mean, here I am happy to still be seeing a lot of the operators that I know I wouldn't be able to utilize any evil effect. It's one of those things where there's certain operators you pick where it's like it inspires undue confidence. Someone's like, oh, you're playing them, you must be good. I'm like, no, no, your plate is misplaced. Don't trust me.
I have been there, my friend. You know, when you get one of those games, you see the other side, and you're like, oh, they're good at this. Just by those operator picks.
Yeah, and you're like, I hope you're bluffing like I would be.
Yep.
I hope you're just lying to yourself.
Sledge badly wounded right now, down to quarter health, but the rest of his team's still up, except for Bradley, who has rolled the credits. We have Hager, Yasuo, and Zach.
Reloading, cover me.
On the other side, it's a 4v3 still. Yasuo trying to get this peek, and what he's trying to do is create peek holes right there with those shots. Now he's going to move back around.
Still looking to corner it.
And this is just a brilliant angle here. No one's going to be expecting it to try and play this A-side defense.
Be precautious of that window as well. Doesn't want any unexpected surprises coming through.
Cloud's all the way down to very, very low health. He is one shot, bro. Smoke grenades coming out here. Hager going to get taken out, and the plant is going to go down. The diffuser will be down here. Clouds gets the double. And it's a 4v1 here. Can Zach clutch this up? No, he cannot.
All according to plan once again. That was, again, smooth, tactical, starts to finish. In and out. It's like in any movie where they recap the plan and you see them acting it out, you know that's not how the plan is going to go.
Oh, yeah, the heist movie?
Right.
Yep.
Like, but in this case, it's like if they actually did this, like then smash cut to them like later on. Like,
can't believe it actually worked.
like just like getting shawarma, they're just like, huh, it really did go exactly as planned. Anyway, and then let's just go home.
It's like the great philosopher Hannibal once said, I love it when a plan comes together.
Mm-hmm. And we'll get to see whether or not another one is going to come together soon because we are flipping things back around. Again, here we are, 3-3. Things very, very balanced here.
I'm dropping a lot of 80s quotes tonight, my friend. I already got a Ghostbusters out. We got an A-team out. Yeah. We're ready for round 7 as we have flipped sides all even at 3 apiece at the halfway point of this game.
Still plenty left to go. Let's see who's going to be able to go the distance to add to the 80s references.
Ooh, I like it. As we're going to see here, Monica rolling with the Rook. And let me tell you, man, the R in Rook stands for roaming. As we're gonna see where that Rook ends up going, or if it stays home as an anchor. But it's already got the plates down. And if you had to sum up operators in one sentence for Rooks, it's I have one job and I still forget to do it. It's the amount of times in online play that your Rook forgets to drop plates, especially when you are the Rook. It is very common, but not at this level. At this level, though, what is frustratingly still common is players will go without taking their armor plates, which is essentially just giving free damage to the other team.
Yeah, this is another one of those operators where it is a case of below a certain level, food, above a certain level, absolutely pivotal.
Yes.
But in an interesting way in that it's not just whether or not your Rook is good, it's whether or not you are good at having a Rook on your team.
And the great thing about Rook is it's just an instant utility build. You don't have your job is done 2 seconds into the round. After that, you are simply there to hold an angle, defend as well as you can, but you've done your job and helped your team already. Other operators, like Smoke, need to last the entire round because the name of their game is longevity. As we're going to see here, this is not going according to plan at all for Bright Zero, as Hager, Zach, and Jabba all already down. Yasuo and Zool, the only ones left. Monica now getting hit pretty hard, but Yasuo gonna be worse for wear after that fight. Monica still standing and trying to go for the flawless round here.
Can this beautiful cleanup go through? It certainly feels like it can, but you never know. This is the exact kind of situation that could end up on a highlights reel if we were looking at. This is the kind of thing that you're going to see clips of. If the comeback can happen. Shots fired there. That's not going to happen. This is not being clipped.
Nope, that is not. That would have required an incredible ace, but instead it's going to be a perfect round the other way. And that is going to be one big defensive round down for this Penta team.
All wrapped up, looking good.
Penta here up 4-3 as they're going to get ready to mount another defense on the first floor. This is going to be a difficult one. Like we said, a lot tougher. You're seeing a Rooney coming out here, which is a really interesting pick simply because it's pretty new. This is an operator that's only a season and a half old now, just got legalized for competitive play, and is going to be coming out here and is very powerful. You've got that DMR, one of the first defenders, the first defender to have a DMR, which is really something to speak of. Got the same one as Dokkaebi, and also can be really important for reinforcing some areas and really closing them off to attackers with these Surya gates that, of course, can't be destroyed. You can only disable them, and they can be re-enabled.
Interesting. This is going to be very, very potentially contentious between these two teams. You can see the prep getting done. You can see the advancements being made.
That is right. Both teams getting set up here. Like we said, difficult defense, but what they're going to be doing there, especially this smoke, this is a brilliant play to try and create angles and give yourself a safer spot that you can watch an objective from.
There's a place to chill.
And it looks like there might be a run out boiling here, but they decide to peel off from it. Only looking out for a little while to try and pick off an easy player at the start of the round.
This is once again that little bit of a calm before the storm as things are starting to get into play here. All the sort of tactical advantages set up, starting to pay off there as we already have one death. Bradley out of here.
Cloud's very weak, and that's going to be a big problem. That is a very big player for... Oh, Cloud's... Hager going to take out Monica instead. Thought that was Clouds for a second, getting ready to chime in on one of the kills, but instead Monica gets taken out by Hager and leaves him at 1 HP. 3v5 still, even with that Hager wounded.
God.
Clouds just misses, but there to save the day is Elite. And Elite's going to get Clouds back up there, and that was a clutch save there by the smoke.
Ooh, and an execution there outside.
Sushi grabs the double, and just like that, it went from a 5v3 to a 3v2. And now down to a 2v2 as Zul is going to grab that one, now popping a smoke. Yasuo providing the cover.
One up above, not going to be able to hit that even through the peak spot.
Almost gets it, but just doesn't quite. Now it's going to be a 1v2 for Elite, and he's going to have to fire out his smoke canisters here to try and provide some cover, but this is going to be a very difficult situation for him.
Creeping. And peeking goes there.
Oh, pulls out the shotgun. Not going to be enough. Attackers win the round.
Unfortunately, there you could see the moment that it made eye contact that it became a balanced exchange. Everybody got to come out of that. But just wasn't able to successfully utilize that push.
And these teams just going back and forth here, tied up at 4 apiece now going into round 9. Going to be another basement defense here. As the picks are coming out, and I have a very strong feeling that we're going to be seeing a 6th pick here. If we aren't seeing a 6th pick here, I will be very surprised. I have one candidate in mind, and I will talk about it in a second once these are locked in.
All right. I am very interested as well to see.
And they are going to stay as Gav here. This is going to get very interesting, my friend.
All right, so tell us a little bit about what that pick expectation you had there was.
So Clouds at this point, he's trying to meme on him here. This is a disrespect play because Cav, very frustrating to deal with in online play when you're playing with people who aren't necessarily a well-oiled machine, not a team that usually is used to playing side by side. But against a team like this, the problem for Cav is going to be these flanks are often covered. And now Clouds is going to try and basically play this as outflanking each and every one of these players as best he can.
10 seconds to go.
And trying to pull up in some surprising spots, maybe pull off an interrogation and reveal the other team's location for his. But an interrogation takes some time, and it means you have to have a player down for that amount of time without them getting picked up or having a teammate come to help, which is usually not far away. But he could meme on him here. grab a couple nice kills around the flank from an unsuspecting corner with that silent step that makes it so that no one can hear where you are coming from.
Watching these angles here with Bradley. Good spot. Not a lot of visibility. Meanwhile, back outside. Watching the breach, it looks like it's about to be some loss of life. Somebody is going down here.
Breach comes out there for Ace. He's going to pop this hole. He's going to pop another hole here. And Bradley gets taken out first, and that DMR not going to be able to do any more damage outside of the garage. Zach trying to fire some shots in as Ash. And so far, no damage done to the attacking side. And as I say that, Hager takes a little bit of damage. Yasuo trying to attempt a breach here. Ash charge goes out. That's not going to hit anyone. But it is going to take out the Melusi that was guarding that location. That would have made it very hard on the breach in, slowing down from the Melusi trap.
It's a difficult situation to be in, but
and this is where we might start to see. This is where we might start to see Bright Zero pull back and try and take another approach here, because it's very clear that Penta has this garage play locked down. Now is the time to pull off some kind of flanking maneuver, go around and readjust your strategy. You've got a minute 30 left to do it. You've got to start thinking quickly here and get some of these flanks, as Hager is going to get taken out. That is going to be the first attacker down as Zach is trying to enter from yellow stairs.
what is going to be, and whatever happens is, at this point, Bright Zero operating a little bit off the back foot, having a little bit of hesitation, no doubt, in trying to reassess. Again, when you have a situation of planning versus improv, there is always that bit of hesitancy in being able to fully commit to a thing. As much as having to deal with improv and having your throne plan off can be very, very disadvantageous, when you're the one that has to come up with something wild like that, it's so easy to not have full faith in the new plan.
Yasuo thought that he had a plan there, blowing that hole in the ceiling, but instead Elite was immediately ready to piece him out of here. Elite gets taken down by the retake, by the refrag, I should say. We're down to a 3v2 here as Java goes down as well. Now it's going to be Zool, and Zool can't hit it. Clouds takes out Zach at the same time, and Clouds does that with the interrogation. And sure enough, that Cav does end up coming in handy there. And the Cav play does work to perfection there for Clouds. You got to respect that. You got to respect a play like that. He called his shot and he kept it, able to get at least one kill with it. And we'll see what he does here. He's looking like he's going again.
You've got to respect it.
You got to respect it.
If it keeps working, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Here on second floor, it might be a little more difficult to get some of these flanks off, but you're probably going to expect him to go downstairs.
Oh, there we go. Cav is out and Jaeger is in.
And here we go. We are going to be getting ready for the next round, and this has still been so back and forth. Penta holding a slight advantage here, but this is a round they're really going to want. This is a round where it can put you up, slight advantage, and you're defending a site that you really should be able to win. Second floor is highly defensible. It's not quite as nice as downstairs, but it's still a site that this team should really expect to be able to take out.
Tactical ruining of the plasma TV.
That's important. Got to get that for the warranty. But the other thing is it's taking items off the walls that are going to provide contrast and maybe make it so that your eye doesn't immediately flick to the right spot. Because think about it, there's a person standing behind a bare wall, you can see them. There's a person standing behind a wall that's got some stuff on it, it's going to give them a little bit of that natural camouflage. So that actually is a tactical maneuver.
It really is tactical trashing of this hotel room.
Yes.
Shots going through there. Not quite yet.
Reload!
Pushing up now.
Drone's ready.
Meanwhile,
Players
inside.
starting to come in. Elite going to take out that drone. Yasuo gets taken out. Bradley is going to be the first one to grab a kill in this one. Meanwhile, Hager here. Watching his flank, making sure there's no run out while he repels. And you see Zach coming in through the first floor. This This is where it gets really tense. Siege is a game all about the chess pieces, the maneuvering in the first several minutes to lead to a 30-second push at the final moment. Clouds takes out Hager there. Zool gets Clouds on the retake, and Zach takes out Elite. Now it's going to be 3v3. Sushi, Monica, and Bradley all still up for Penta, and Zool, Zach, and Jabba attacking for Bright Zero here. Bradley playing as that alibi. Going to make players think twice about maybe shooting at some of those holograms, maybe getting faked out and revealing their location by mistake. As meanwhile, Monica still playing as the Rook, always a helpful target. And Bradley sees the player coming out with the shots from the hatch, but not able to answer as it was Jabba right there.
Beautiful play here, and moving up looking for the next successful pick.
Bomb has been
Coming
located.
from around the corner there. That is absolutely going to be an immediate kill. Walked right into it, unfortunately. Now you have one left for Penta.
2v1 here, but now a 1v1 as Jabba just runs out a little too far without checking the corners.
Oh, no, the angles. Once again, the angles come through.
A brilliant play there where he just was, he used the alibi as cover. That is a brilliant play.
That is crazy.
And just a high IQ play there to give Bright Zero the round win and keep us tied up here. And you know, Caleb, overtime doesn't end in this game.
We're still going.
I'm just saying, this game could go for a very long time if these guys keep trading back.
I mean, hey, I'm in it for the long haul. The longer they can make this happen, the more impressive it is that it is still happening. So let's see what they can do.
We're into round 11 here. Still tied at 5. And the picks are coming out, and we're seeing a couple change-ups here. The ace we've seen a couple times now, but not really a common play all the time.
Protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
Certainly an interesting one so far. I mean, this has been, again, these are the kinds of plays, the kinds of elements that you don't get a chance to see very much of in a lot of ranges of play, because it is, again, something you have to execute on so tight that it's not worth the risk in most lobbies, certainly. Again, especially when we're talking about games where you can't count on your teammates the entire time to support a play, even if you're able to fully execute on it. But here, we're seeing some advanced tactics that I'm sure a lot of people looking out are going to be very excited to see go home, attempt, fail at, and be frustrated by.
10 seconds.
See, that's a fun thing, though, is in a game like this, it's almost like watching golf.
5 seconds left.
You know, you can go watch the Masters, and then you can see how Tiger swings the club,
Locate and defuse a bomb.
and then you can go out to your local course and try to do it, and you're not going to get it
It means
done.
nothing to you.
It means nothing.
It means nothing to you. You haven't improved at all.
Yeah. In Siege, watching Pro League is a great way to get better. Be assured, you can't pull off the same quite flicking to the headshot and massive reflexes, but the core ideas behind some of these plays, I mean, the first thing that every player does when they start playing Siege, you get into your first game, you've never played before, you're on defense, boom, it is time to barricade every single doorway. And then very quickly watching Pro League, you're like, oh, I'm not supposed to do that. Okay. I mean, it sounds like the logical thing to do when you first start playing, but those first few days of Siege, you're basically playing Call of Duty with breakable walls, and then you start really getting into it and understanding what the tactics are. As we see here, Zach and Bradley both eliminated right now.
Very careful. Again, very elegant gameplay over the course of the match thus far. Oh,
doesn't
my
check
goodness.
his corner.
How could you? Walking out, taking a little bit of a risk, just moving forward. It's going to result in a retaliation very soon thereafter. We back down to an even number of survivors left, 3v3.
Hager going to be taking out Clouds there. That's a very big one. And the dock is going to be done.
Doc is down outside. Zool looking for his next chance. Get something to happen here. We see Hager on the wall. Zool's going to join him.
And they're going to start moving up as they try and take this second floor. But the problem is they've only got a minute 22, and that minute 20 is going to go by very quickly here. Zool thinking about throwing out his breaching charge. Instead, his Selma charge, I should say. Trying to find the right spot. That's a good peek there, and Monica is going to be badly hurt. Oh, on the run out. On the run out, Elite going to get taken down, and then Monica downed as well. And I'll tell you, this is a good time to have a dock, which Hager was. But it looks like, at the very least, Monica has been able to move away. Elite not going to be so lucky here. He is very much done for as he fell outside, so there's going to be no recourse there, and sure enough, the final kill does come out. The 2 players down, they get wiped immediately, and the attackers win round 10 and now take a very, very big advantage point.
Wild starts to finish in that. Again, the end there, it really was like a hard, like, what do you do when you're in that sort of a spot?
You
and it's
do
just
nothing.
everything is falling against you.
It is just a rock and a hard place that they got caught in there. And now it is crunch time here for Penta. They're going to mount a basement defense, to be expected.
Which has gone well, historically. Has gone well.
It is where you want to be right now on defense. The problem for them is they're up against the wall. Lose here and it's over. They need to win this to force overtime.
But that also means they know there's going to be a certain pressure, one could say.
There is a high pressure
to try
out here.
and both to try and preserve that lead and bring on, and also try to kill here. Try and not make any mistakes. Run an airtight game. Do not let Blue make the comeback here.
That is very true, but you're going to see Blue is going all out here. Clouds is pulling out the Vigil. This is a play meant for roaming. Vigil is going to roll around here looking to grab as many frags as he possibly can. And his weapons are no joke for doing just that. And Clouds is going to be going purely on skill here. He is not this team's leading fragger. Sushi has 11. He's got 10. Meanwhile, on the other side, Yasuo with 12 to lead that team. And no surprise, he's going as the Zofia to try and finish this game off. They're going to be bringing in Ace as their hard breacher, not a Thermite, which they have been commonly doing throughout these attacking rounds. And they're going to immediately start targeting that with that basement wall. Interesting here on the strategy for Penta. They're not going to bring a Kaid or a Bandit, which means they're not electrifying that wall. They're going to instead resort to mute trapping it to try and prevent any hard breaching coming out on that garage wall.
Hopefully a little bit less pressure on them there. One less thing to worry about.
Unfortunately for them, though, Bradley gets killed immediately.
Oh, no. Oh, but once again, we're even that up without too much delay. Coming
Players
down the
coming
hallway.
up the stairs. Zul going to grab the kill. It's Monica.
Breaking the wall down a little bit to create that opening, heading back up. Hopefully drawing attention away.
Located a bomb.
We are just waiting now. That looks like it's going to be successful there. Got a great spot on him. Just needs to wait for him to peek up, and a flawless execution on that, and turns around and drops another one.
Oh, that is a big double here, and Sushi is getting it done. He's making some tuna nigiri out of these defenders right now. I should say attackers because he's on the defending side.
But hey, one way or another,
Look, it was
correct.
great. It was a great punt.
You know who's doing well.
It was a great play on words, and I'm not going to let the fact that it was completely incorrect ruin it.
I mean, it's more important to be. Style is more important than substance.
Jubbo saying, "Hey, announcer, can you read chat?" Yes, we can.
One of us can. I can sometimes see certain things
it is
passing
far
by
away
from
for you.
over here. I know something's happening over there.
Jabba here, meanwhile, it's a 3v2, and the attackers are definitely not going to be on the better side of it. If you're going to be in a 3v2, you'd rather be on the defensive side, but now it's a 2v2, and that's a very different story. As everyone is still at pretty much full health, and as I say that, Clouds gets taken out there, and now it's become a 2v1 the other way, and just when this looked like it was advantage Penta, it is now advantage Bright Zero to try and close this out on the attacking side here. Sushi going to be looking around, trying to spot the players, takes down the barricade. This is a very bold play. And no, it doesn't work.
God.
Bright Zero going to take round 12, and that is going to do it.
You gotta respect it. You got again, do or die situations like that. You gotta go for the big risk play, and you can't. It's not that bad when you whiff something like that. When you go for it, when you know this is really all that I can do, and you go down fighting.
And it almost worked. They got the
close,
hits.
yeah.
They got the hits on Sledge. It just didn't work out at the end because when you pulled around that back corner, there was that massive peek hole into the room, and that was just a good play there by Bright Zero.
a phenomenal one to watch in action. That was a great game overall. I have certainly learned a lot. A lot that, like you mentioned, I won't be able to apply probably ever, but it certainly makes the experience of viewing, again, a lot more interesting in being able to get more examples of the intricacies of the game and things like that. And also just to be back here again in the arena, to be here, this is my first time in the arena getting to see Siege, getting to see some of these players in action, getting to know them, and I'm so excited, and I can't wait for more. I really, really hope we get to see more of this sometime very soon.
I hope so, too. Siege is so much of an exciting game. It's such a tactical game. As far as an esport goes, like you said, this is the most esporty of all esports. This is a game that requires so much base gun skill. It requires so much dexterity and quick reflexes. It requires so much thinking and strategy. And it all comes together into this mindlessly frustrating package of a brutally hard game that, for some reason, we just love to play and watch. And let's take a look back at some of those great moments that we saw in this one in particular, because it was just back and forth right from the beginning. Clouds with the 3v1 play here. These were the last 2 kills of it. And that was such a great maneuver coming back from yellow stairs, back around, entering garage. They had no idea what was happening until they were already dead. And we saw here, of course, in round 3, some great plays there. Hager getting taken out, and then Sushi getting absolutely answered back. And that's the thing. These angles are so insane. Sometimes you have no idea, like that one there trying to go up the staircase and getting hit instead.
Just the PhD in geometry you have to possess to be able to calculate when you are in danger, when you have a potential line of sight against an opponent, when you could potentially create a peek hole and things like that. It's a constant strain on the brain on top of having to do a lot of very active and passive thoughts at the same time.
And that is the thing. It is just so many different ideas that you have to have and so many different plays. Of course, one of my favorites was that air jab play that we saw in one of the middle rounds where it was just a 1v1 and Clouds knew exactly where he had to position himself so that he had both angles covered at the same time. And sure enough, he did, and Jabba got taken out by the air jab, letting him get the easy kill.
Spectacular stuff all around. Just
Yasuo
every
with a
moment
great
looking beautiful.
peek right there.
Mm-hmm.
And, of course, as I say that, he did get taken out on that one. He
I mean,
should have been able to hit those.
It was a good angle.
It was a good angle.
Sometimes you don't quite have the
This was a great
Ooh.
play here. Elite saving the day, keeping Clouds alive.
Cinematic.
And that's why you keep a Rook, my friend, because that Rook armor means that if you don't get hit with a headshot, you're only going to go down, not out, and you're going to be able to get picked back up. As we saw Bradley here just not able to get the job done. But then Sushi with this double play coming around the corner. The flick that comes on here, and then pushing right back around and getting wrecked by Jabba.
Walking into a lot. But again, this is one of those things where you have to stride confidently at times, and that means at times you're going to walk, it feels like head first into something.
And that's all about the preparation. It's knowing what's coming around the corner. As we saw here, this was the great double play. And then, of course, that was all she wrote there. Bright Zero winning the round with that great shot through the peak hole, knowing exactly what had to happen there. A great play all around.
It was great to see. And we get to talk a little bit to one of our fine players. We have an interview with Hager, a chance to ask him a couple of questions about how that match went. I would love to pick his brains. Let's get right into it. Hager, how are you feeling after all is said and done?
Honestly, it was a blast the entire time. We kind of had a little feud because we're all friends, so it was good. I really liked it.
That is right. I mean, I know that you guys love to trash talk. By the way, you can get that mic a little bit closer to your face. You can full on karaoke that thing, my man. We'll pick you up. And I know that you guys love to trash talk each other, but you are also still all just really good friends. How does it feel, in particular, taking out Clouds here?
Honestly, it feels so good because he's been playing competitively for a long time, and we really haven't. So he feels like he's a lot better than us, and we had to put him down.
Once again, remind them of your own position. Let them know that you're still grinding, still getting some progress made as well.
Now, what have you been thinking? There have been some changes coming in the new season, a couple map reworks going on. What's one of your favorite reworks that we've seen as we're headed into the new year?
Like reworks from operators or maps?
Both.
So I've really enjoyed the Oregon rework. I can't wait till like I don't even know. The Outback rework is gonna be good. the Tachanka rework, that was amazing in my opinion, what they did with that guy.
Now, is Tachanka finally viable? He's definitely more fun to play with online, but are we going to be seeing him on the competitive scene now?
Oh, definitely next season. I'm not sure if you guys seen the patch notes, but he's getting a massive buff. You're going to see him a lot more in professional play. Trust me.
I am looking forward to that. I can't wait to be watching more Pro League and seeing the Lord come out. Now, like we said about the trash talking here, give us your message. What's the thing that you want to say, that big moment, the shout out to Clouds that you want to say, that you want to give them after that win?
Honestly, just shout out to everyone for showing up, for finally having a rainbow tournament. It was a blast. I couldn't thank everyone that showed up. I can't thank the arena any more than I can.
Hogger, thank you so much for joining us. We are thrilled to have you guys here. We love having Siege back in the building. We hope to be doing it again real soon. In the meantime, congratulations and great job on the win.
Thank you, thank you.
All right, Caleb. So there we have it. We are good to go here. An amazing game, back and forth the whole time. Some amazing strats, some great plays, some fantastic angles, all coming out with Bright Zero taking the win.
It was a beautiful thing to watch in action. Once again, I, much like Hogger, I'm so happy to see Siege back again, to see the arena coming back to life again, and all of the great games we have here present. But this was really something special. When we talk about quintessential esports, when we talk about being able to get into the game, really get into the fun of the intricacies, no matter what angle of the gameplay is your favorite part when it comes to quick reaction times, when it comes to planning, when it comes to a tactical game with a lot of technique and setup and things to dig into. I feel like there's a lot here for a lot of range of people, so I'm happy to have been part of the experience. And much like Hoggers, again, I'm so grateful to everybody for coming out, supporting the arena, coming through to be in this wonderful audience, giving support to these players on stage, and make my job as commentator even more fun.
That is all the time we have, my friend. I've had a blast being here with you. Fantastic job on the night. Fantastic job to all of our players. That is going to do it for the Crown Showdown Invitational. We will be back very soon with more. But for now, for Caleb Browner, I'm Tom Viola, signing off. Have a good night, everybody.